Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Night One Shots from Gehenna Gaming. I am your GM for the evening, Ian E. Muller, otherwise known as Ravnos on the internets and in the Gehenna Gaming Discord. Thank you all for tuning in with us this evening. I am joined by a wonderful cast of players. For the first time that Gehenna Gaming has done a 1920s, more traditional style Call of Cthulhu game on our channel. Before we jump into introducing the players and talking about the scenario a little bit, I want to drop a content warning. Just let everyone know tonight's game is a tragic horror themed game. We will be dealing with themes of loss and a lot of supernatural horror themes, so keep that in mind. You need to bow out or step away for any reason at any time. Don't feel any shame. Just step away, take care of yourself first, and if you are able to, come back and join us for the rest of the game. If not, don't worry about it. Take care of yourself first. Before we jump into the game, I want to introduce our players. Tonight, I have the pleasure of being joined with one person who I have gamed with many times in the last year, as well as a few other friends of mine. Let's start with Renee.
Hey, it's me. Hello, my name is Renee Cooper. I'm playing Bernice Boudreau tonight on Call of Cthulhu, and I'm super excited to be here because I have a lot of weekend of gaming and I'm learning. So, yay! But yes, I'm also on ATL by night as Hexadecimal.
Excellent. And Saren.
Hi, I'm Saren Breyer, and tonight I will be playing Tobias TJ James.
Next up, we have Dustin.
Hello, I'm Dustin Fletcher, and tonight I will be playing Jack Bing, investigative photojournalist.
And last but not least, we have Devin.
Hello, everyone. I am Devin Henderson, and tonight I am playing Private First Class Lester Yates.
Tonight, you will all be playing a Call of Cthulhu scenario that I wrote called The Haunting of the SS Avondale. Our crew of investigators, who are all strangers and don't know each other, are passengers aboard the SS Avondale, a passenger ship in 1927 heading from New York City to London. You have been at sea for a couple days now. It has been smooth sailing so far, nothing out of the ordinary, very pleasant voyage. The ship is underbooked. It's still busy, but there are empty cabins, which is fine with the crew and everyone else, but we will pick up on the third evening of your voyage. For those who are unfamiliar with the Call of Cthulhu setting, this is a setting based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. It is a fantastic TTRPG that uses the basic role-playing system. It's basically a percentile system. 9 times out of 10, my players and myself will be rolling 2d10 for a percentile roll. They will need to roll under their skill checks. Some of them are very familiar with this system and some of them are not, so we will be explaining the rules as we go, so I don't want to do a full primer right now, but you should be able to walk away from this game knowing a little bit more about Call of Cthulhu and hopefully able to play it yourselves. So unless my players have any questions before we jump in, we will start. Excellent.
All good?
So, as I mentioned, it is the third evening of your voyage. You are all passengers aboard the ship. You have earned your way aboard either by purchasing a ticket or by working. But you are all able to relax this voyage. For whatever reason, you are choosing to travel from New York to London at this time. It is well after the Great War, but Europe is still rebuilding. It's still in a little bit of turmoil, and you might be traveling to visit other parts of the continent or to specifically go to England. We don't know. But so far, it's been a very pleasant voyage. You've been able to enjoy listening to jazz music in the ballroom every evening with dinner and cocktails, or relax in your cabins, or relax up on the deck playing games like shuffleboard. The crew has all been friendly and accommodating, and though your other passengers seem fewer in number than you would have expected, everyone seems pretty friendly. No, you haven't heard of any turmoil or strife on board, and and it's this evening. You would all be somewhere aboard deck. It's around dinner time, so let's just go around and you can tell me if you are having dinner in the ballroom, prepared for an evening with other passengers, or if you're keeping to yourselves. What about you, Bernice?
Okay, Bernice is in the ballroom. She is sitting, having a very pleasant dinner, trying to socialize with as many people around her. She's actually making a pretty exciting journey to London because of a new film that they're working on and some openings. So she has her wine. She is enjoying a surprisingly for the time, very mixed crew of people, and is just talking and laughing and having a wonderful time and just loving being the center of attention and telling everybody about all of her voyages and travels so far.
Excellent. So yeah, you would have a small contingent of people surrounding you as one of the celebrities aboard the ship. Saren, or TJ, what about you? What is TJ up to?
Yes, TJ got on board by working, so he is having dinner with the other crew members, like the other engineers, everybody who kind of works in the bowels of the ship, very blue collar.
Excellent. So where you are would actually be much more boisterous. The food wouldn't be of quite the same quality, although it is decent, but it's much more lively, a little more raucous, and very comfortable surroundings for you. How about Jack?
Jack is came aboard with a press pass. Is one of the press among the ships. So documenting for his newspaper, the Pelican Times. He is based out of New York normally, but has recently been down in Vermont doing some work at a very small newspaper there. Was able to make his way back to New York, booking passage on the SS Avondale in the hopes to get out of the country a bit and do some photojournalism on the ship itself. The Avondale had a lot of really good press about it on this voyage. Is this the maiden voyage of the Avondale, or is this?
Nope, the Avondale has made quite a few trips.
Okay.
It is specifically a liner that goes back and forth, makes the trip from New York to London and back regularly. This is probably the 7th or 8th voyage of the ship, actually.
So yeah, I think excited that he was able to finally get clearance to and get the contract to do some of the photojournalism and photography for this voyage. And so he is standing probably in the main ballroom with his large flashbulb camera, little press badge sticking out of his vest pocket, sleeves rolled up, as he kind of comes up to Bernice. Miss Bordeaux, do you mind? For the Times.
Oh, and I noticed the press and I'm like, yes, this person. Come sit with us. Oh my goodness. I'm always excited to see other people, to have a large table. How are you today?
He's kind of like getting ready to take a photo, and she's like inviting him to sit down. He's like, I'm great. Great. Yes. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. Please take a photo. Everybody smile for the camera, and I'm gonna see the camera. And
he'll like that, like nervousness will immediately wash away as he'll get behind his lens, kind of steady it, and then that flash with a puff of smoke kind of goes out as he takes the photo of everybody.
Excellent. And last but not least, how is PFC Lester taking his evening?
He's outside, not in any of the main rooms. He's kind of secluded to himself as he's in deep contemplation. He keeps looking towards the sky, and he leans against one of the exterior walls of the ship with a right arm that ends at the elbow, a wound he received in the war. And He kind of rubs it and nurses it for a second as he keeps staring up at the sky. It almost seems like he has a purpose across the pond, looking for something that may have happened during the war that he wants answers to. But he's just outside the, he can see inside the windows, the press now gathering around the famous moving picture star, and kind of just smiles at everybody else that seems a little bit less attuned to the weird happenings of the world, at least for this moment.
Absolutely. And on that note, you do make note that an exceptionally clear sky this evening. The sun has just begun to set. You're starting to see the stars peeking out. A little bit of a redness still on the horizon, but and you can spot some clouds drifting here or there. But it's calm, very calm evening. The ship moving under its own power. Is there anything in particular you are looking for, or are you just keeping an eye out?
He always kind of looks towards the sky every once in a while now, not really purposefully looking for something, but there's that little thought in the back of his head that something might be there.
Okay.
So if it shows up, it shows up.
Okay. So everyone is enjoying their evening. It's relatively calm. You enjoy dinner. And I suppose, TJ, you would notice it first. As I mentioned, you are a few days out already. But TJ, why don't you give me a... Yeah, probably just a listen check.
Okay. Ooh, very bad. That's a 74.
Oh, okay. Well, you notice nothing as a small band has started playing in the crew quarters to just kind of enjoy their evening. No, there's still a few people on shift, but most of you are relaxing and enjoying your evening and winding down for the night. So a small band of other crew members picked up and started playing.
Right, and he's paying attention to the band. Kind of seems a little misty-eyed.
Perhaps then, Lester, you might notice, in your case, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll for this?
That number here?
Mm-hmm. Under that.
63. And I got a 50-50 chance on that, too.
Well, no, your evening is just enjoyable, and you are relaxing. You may be less relaxed than others, but no, it's quite fine. Is there anything any of you would like to do this evening? Anyone you wanted to speak to? Anything you wanted to get done aboard ship?
I think as Jack is kind of thanks Bernice for the photo. I must say your latest film, Daring Dame Dances with Darkness, is just one of my all-time favorites. It's phenomenal. I'm a big fan.
Wow, I'm excited that you've seen it, and thank you so much for giving it the look. I hope that you wrote some good things about it.
Yeah. Kind of looks at the camera and just doesn't really know how to say no. And yeah,
obviously, I'm like, if you're press, you're writing, you're great. Give me visibility. Yep. So and what is your what's your publication?
Oh, the Pelican Times, out of Vermont.
Oh, pelicans out of Vermont. See, I'm from Louisiana, so pelicans are very important to us. So that's probably going to be one of my most favorite publications now. Thank you so much for giving us that, for seeing the film, and for creating such a good, coverage for it. And I'm just gonna then turn like I'm sure everyone has seen it. It's so if you haven't, hopefully, and I'm just gonna kind of ramble and speak and kind of forget that like notice, but like kind of be like, oh, people with money, and like thank you.
And he'll take the hint and just kind of turn and start getting other coverage of the rest of the party. And then kind of once he's gotten, excuse me, the shots that he wants in the main ballroom, he'll actually probably make his way out onto the deck itself.
Okay. While you're after you've stepped away from the magnetic presence of Miss Boudreaux, why don't you give me a spot hidden check as well?
I can do that. All right. That's a success. I have 75 is my target number, and I got a 68.
You notice a crew member, so definitely not the second mate, but someone in uniform come over and interrupt the captain's meal and talk to him in hushed tones. Captain looking very irate and excuses himself from his table, storms out of the room.
I would like to follow.
Okay.
Investigative journalist in me gets a little.
Would you like to follow stealthily, or just kind of like make your way through the ship? Okay.
And I'll kind of sling my large camera over my shoulder, and kind of tighten the strap so that it rests against that, and I'll pull out my my portable collapsible camera.
Perfect.
That is a little more subtle in its picture taking capabilities. There's no large flash that goes with it.
Yep. Why don't you give me a stealth roll as you follow them down one of the corridors and then to a set of stairs to go below deck?
It is a success. I have a 75 on my stealth, and I rolled a 72.
Well, that is still a success. So you successfully are unnoticed by them. Other crew members and people walking around happen to notice you, but to them it just looks like you're another person walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And they make their way below deck. 1 level, 2 levels, 3 levels, 4 levels, and you're now in crew quarters. You're in machinery, and they're making their way towards the engine room. You're pretty sure.
Okay.
And once they are below deck and out of sight of any of the other passengers or paying people aboard the ship, they start speaking more loudly, and they're like, well, what happened? The captain kind of picks up in the middle of a conversation. Well, what happened? Everything was fine when we left port. You're telling me now that the second engine's out? I don't know what to tell you, Captain. It's just, it was working fine yesterday, and then a couple hours ago it just started sputtering, and it just won't fire. Can't get it rolling again. Captain swears a little, and they continue on in silence.
I want to take a photograph of this area, just the engine, the crew working.
Yep.
Just kind of get a shot of this.
Okay. Once you get to the engine room itself, you do see it appears that one of 2 large engines in this room has seized. It appears to be on and trying to do its thing, but gears are not turning. Rotors are not. It doesn't appear to be under duress, and no one is concerned, other than the fact that the ship is now moving at half power. You catch a couple photos. There's only 1 or 2 crew members in here. It appears word has not spread yet.
Okay.
You were able to successfully sneak away before you were noticed, if that is your plan.
It is, yeah.
Okay. As the rest of you, TJ, word has now spread through that one of the engines is out, and they're asking for volunteers to stay up at night and help repair it.
I will absolutely volunteer.
Okay. You volunteer, as well as one of your buddies, Rodney, and another crewmate who you haven't quite caught his name.
Okay.
Lester. Yes, go ahead.
Oh. I was just gonna say I go with them, and TJ's been a little quiet since the band. He was already kind of looking for an escape at that point, and this is the opportunity that came, and he just took it.
Perfect. Lester, you've spent some time on ships, not a lot, but some, having traveled back and forth to Europe. You start noticing something's wrong. You don't even have to roll for it. The ship has slowed down to almost a crawl, which is unusual.
I will go to the helm and just kind of walk in if it is not locked. Make my presence known with a soft knock. Like, Captain, I've noticed the ship is slowed according to my calculations of the itinerary. If we're going at these speeds, we won't make it on time. Is there a problem? The weather seems fine.
A gentleman who turns around, who's not the captain, it's actually the second mate, says, "Oh, who are you?" Yeah, I eyes you for a minute, and he's like, "I know you. You're the doctor, right? Who served in the war?"
Field medic, yes.
Okay. No. I heard that we had a decorated veteran aboard. Thank you. Yeah. No. There's just some engine trouble. We'll get it resolved overnight and be back on course tomorrow morning. Shouldn't shave more than a few hours off of our trip.
I'm not well versed in mechanics, but I've seen a little bit. If you need any help, I am available.
I will let the captain know that you offered. Thank you so much. But no, right for now, I'm sure our crew can handle it. Why don't you get yourself a drink over in the ballroom and relax?
Okay, I'll adjust my schedule. We'll be a day late now.
I wouldn't even say a day. It'll likely just be a couple hours. Maybe arriving in the evening instead of the morning.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for informing me. And I know I'm just a passenger. I just want to make sure everything's going smoothly. Nothing's wrong.
Not at all. Totally. We understand. Absolutely. Well, we will, of course, be making an announcement to the rest of the passengers once we understand what the problem is and have a timetable for a resolution. But until then, just bumps the word if you don't mind.
Understandable. I understand how these things go. I have my orders, and you have yours.
He just kind of tips his hat and turns back to navigation.
Yep. Yates nods, and then actually we'll go into the ballroom, and I say, Bernice, he doesn't approach you, but you see this clean-shaven man that is wearing a military uniform. It's not fully decorated, but you notice that he's missing a right arm at the elbow, and it's folded and pinned. But what you notice most is that he's kind of eyeing you suspiciously, not suspiciously, but curiously. It seems like there's something on his mind.
I'm going to, because I'm just always interested in different things, but I'm going to notice this, and I've been a little drinking. I'm going to excuse myself from my table. I'm so sorry. I just have to speak with that gentleman over there. He just seems very interesting. Yes, you know. And I'm going to, okay, thank you. Take my wine glass and go over to him and very slightly tipsy be like, "Sir, it looks like we have a hero in our midst. Would you mind if I, bent your ear for a bit?"
And you see kind of the word hero makes him, it's like he's looking inward and doesn't really like the sound of it. Just tries to pass it off. If you don't mind, Miss Boudreaux, correct?
Yes, you've heard of me, Boudreaux, yes.
Yeah, the movie.
You can call me Bernice.
Thank you, Bernice. I'm a Southern man, so I'm used to formalities and things like that. And then I'm a military man, so I'm even more used to formalities. So if you would
Understandable.
Yeah, but if Bernice is what suits you, then Bernice it shall be.
Well, thank you, and I can call you.
Lester Yates.
Okay.
No need for titles.
So Lester Yates, then. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Lester Yates, and I'm gonna go because I'm used to just like hooking my arm, and I'm on his wrong side, so I'm gonna like kind of like flourishy for very unnecessary reasons. Pardon, and go and grab his left arm and hook it and say, "I would love to hear your story."
I actually have a few questions for you. You mind joining me on the dance floor?
Oh, of course not. And I'm gonna chug my glass, put it down on the nearest table that isn't mine, and walk with him to the dance floor.
And no need to feel bashful about the miscalculation. I've been dealing it with for 13 years now, so it's fine.
Oh.
I'm used to it.
Well, we all have to adjust sometimes, and I will follow him to the dance floor.
Okay. So I noticed after some small talk, he'll bring up the question that you've been waiting for him to ask. So I noticed in one of your films, I think it was Shadows in Dunkirk. I will have to say, your portrayal of a medical nurse, fantastic, by the way, fantastic. Whoever
a little secret, they wouldn't let me play any other character, so I'm glad that you noticed and that I could really bring out the character that's on the battlefield. Never having seen war, I'm hoping I did a fair job.
An excellent job. I'm actually glad that the film, well, at least parts of the film were made. The medical nurses don't get as much shine as they should. It's all gone to, as he says with a pause, heroes of the war.
Yes,
But
as it should be.
No, the ladies did fine work. We wouldn't have been able to save as many men if it weren't for their help, but there's something about the movie that troubled me. And it's not the shell shock that most people think would cause veterans. It's actually, do you know who the writer was? The director. There was a dark aspect of the film that seemed supernatural, hidden in the shadows, and I just wondered where they got their influences.
Well, I tried to get to know the crew on these pretty well. I think it was a director named Jackson. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna think back. Have you ever? My grandmother used to tell me these very bizarre stories, and she was religious, and I kind of shrugged, but in things I'd not usually heard of. I was raised Catholic, so of course the Bible, things like this, but she would sometimes spout nonsense that seemed very dogmatic, but also I could never find anything that referenced what she was talking about. But it was always had a very dark atmosphere to it, and it always gave me strange dreams. So I just tried to put that into my acting, and it seemed like it came out apparently pretty noticeable. For you, most people just see it as acting, but I've never had anyone portray it or tell me it was dark, but that's sort of where I drew inspiration from. Interesting.
And you see him nod kind of knowingly, dancing side by side with you, and you get closer and closer to the end of your point, and you see his brow furrows. He goes, yeah, I too was raised in a religious community. I have my questions, but that's not what we're here discussing. But and he says, and he pauses, and he says the next word with a lot of gravitas and subtle, like, darkness to it, which is strange because the word he says is angels. But
I'm sorry. What was the last word you said?
angels, if they exist.
And as that being something she has been very much a part in its own strange way, she has her own memories of. I'm curious, Mr. Lester Yates, Sir Lester Yates, if I may. What do you think angels look like?
And you see like a little bit of fear kind of wash over his face as he stops dancing for a moment. Not what you would think.
And I'm gonna sort of nod, and I am getting a little nervous myself. I used to have these dreams of things I thought that I would call angels, things that I feel like were inspired by what my grandmother used to talk about, not the ones from Revelations or anything, again, that you would find in a holy book, just strange things that she talked about a lot and I could never find any other reference to. So it's just interesting that you would bring up such an interesting topic, having never met you before and only having previous connections through a movie. So
I saw you speaking with I think a member of the press or someone, at least a photographer of some sorts.
Yes, I think his name was Jason. Yes, it was definitely Jason. He was with the Pelican.
And again, you see Yates's face kind of furrow. Is he just a photographer or a writer?
Oh, I assure you, I don't know. I see a giant press badge on his chest and a camera, and I'm going to assume that he is what he says he is.
Did you ever read the article that the Pelican published about one of the first major battles of the Great War?
Oh, I'm sure I did not. A lot of my research for even my own movies have been through other means, not necessarily the press. So, no, I have not. And I've not been to Vermont myself. He says it was from Vermont, Virginia, one of the V states that I've definitely not been to.
The article is about Mons. It's a French town.
Okay.
If you're interested in what we're talking about, I suggest reading it.
Oh. And this is by Jason, the presser that I saw earlier.
I don't recognize the name, but I just recognize the paper.
Okay.
And the article's called The Angel of Mons. So, thank you for humbling me with this wonderful dance. It's good to spend a little quality time with a moving picture star. So.
Oh, well, enjoy it now, because once I move to Europe, it's going to be very hard to get in contact. But I've enjoyed this time to talk with you and to have this dance with a war hero, someone who's actually seen the battlefield, and I'm glad that you've made it out.
Yeah. Hero. Good evening, Miss Boudreaux.
Thank you.
And speaking of Jason, or Jack, as his name actually is,
So good.
TJ, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll as you're making your way towards the engine room?
Sure. Maybe these will treat me better. That's a 19.
All right. As you're making your way, you do notice someone who probably shouldn't be in this section of the ship making his way back towards the stairwell, wearing a wool cap and vest and a press badge and a camera slung across his
Very
back.
out of place.
Yeah, you do. He's doing a good job of just being unassuming and is making his way back up deck, but you do catch sight of him.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Rodney's. Catch up with you. Turn and follow the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey!
Like
Hey,
deer
you.
in headlight just stops, turns around. Me?
Is this down here?
Just trying to get coverage of, the inner workings of what it takes to run a ship. for the paper.
Coverage.
It, like taps the photo and seeing workers in action. I'm
This ain't paper stuff. What you doing?
Then we just kind of goes looking to show the truth behind what it takes to make a liner run, the people are the heart behind it, not the fancy glam, but the actual people behind it.
And know the truth of the people down here? Think people down here are gonna tell you our truth?
I mean, doesn't hurt.
Fancy little camera boy.
Just kind of
Too
looks.
clean to be down here.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. I'll be on my way.
What's this article about?
I am just a photographer. Just looking to document, like I said, the heart of a ship. Not necessarily the fancy parties. But I don't write articles. I tell stories with pictures.
And at that
TJ
moment,
thinks for a minute. Oh, sorry.
you hear a loud clang and swearing coming from down the corridor from towards the engine room.
Shit! The sprint.
Yeah. Kind of just hesitates for a moment, watches TJ kind of take off running, and there will be a flash as he'll take a photo of TJ sprinting.
And do you continue upstairs to go?
You want to like it'll flash and then it'll kind of settle and he'll pull back and he'll look around and he'll realize that he's the only one down here right now.
And you are, and it is dark. Not as well lit as the upper decks.
And there's like a slight rattle from his camera as he doesn't even realize it, but he's starting to shake as he slowly turns and quickly makes his way back up to where he can find some form of civilization, people.
Are you
to
going to go
not
to the
be-
upper decks, or are you going to go towards the engine room?
Oh man. I want to roll something because he has a absolute fear of being alone in darkness.
Why don't you give me the stress from this? Why don't you give me a sanity check?
Absolutely. That sounds like a wonderful idea. That is a failure.
Lovely.
I rolled a 90 and I have a 70.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
that you do actually lose 2.
Okay.
And you feel a compulsion to the nearest noise and people that you know is at the engine room.
Okay. Then
So-
yeah, he's gonna follow TJ and like almost like not even realizing it and just kind of like yeah, and just kind of takes off.
Okay. So TJ, you get to the engine room, and a minute later you notice that the photographer has followed you. But in the engine room, there's a little bit of a turmoil. What I mentioned earlier about the engine not appearing to be under stress, but definitely something causing it to not run. Someone tried to force the gears, thinking maybe something was just caught up in some of the inner workings that they couldn't see, and see if they could just get it rolling again, and broke one of the rods on the engine. Also, the wrench that they were trying to use. There's one guy laying on the floor holding a broken wrist, 2 other guys looking like they screwed up, and the captain screaming and yelling. A little bit of a turmoil, and the engine appears to be very much not going to be operating anytime soon. You know your way around. Why don't you actually give me a mechanical repair roll, see if you can assess a little more in depth what's going on.
Okay. And as he goes to look at the engine, he looks down at the guy holding his wrist. Like, someone get him to the med bay. $94.
Oh, we're doing
My
so
dice
good.
hate
So
me
good.
tonight.
Doing so good.
Yeah.
I have
4.
4 sets of percentiles. They don't like me.
I think you're playing a different game today. It's like, you want high numbers, right? Right?
Yeah. This is Vampire, right? These are
Yeah.
10s. I know how to roll these.
It hurt my Pathfinder game today.
Well, you kind of look at it and you're like, yeah, that's broke. But luckily, the other thing that you said, the 2 guys who were kind of looking like, oops, we fucked up, help lift their friend and start helping him out of the engine. And the captain notices you standing there. Also notices the gentleman who's not supposed to be around standing over your shoulder. Just kind of makes eye contact with you for a second, Jack, and then turns back to TJ. You. I need this assessed, pick a crew, figure out what's wrong and if this is fixable. Otherwise, we have to have a backup plan. We either need to get some people out here to replace parts, see what we have in stock. The stock room below deck on the lower levels might have some repair parts, but just go make an assessment, figure out what's needed, and do that. Grab help if you need it. Report back to me later this evening. I will be up all night.
Yes, sir.
Jack will kind of like, almost like relief as he goes into this, and then instantly like, all right, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do now, because now I'm between a rock and a hard place. But he immediately like turns and sees them carrying off the crew member, and he'll actually go, Jack Bing, forgive me, Captain. I did not mean to be here, but since I am, allow me to be of use. Do not take 2 of your mechanics away. Allow me to take this gentleman to the med bay, so that way you have at least 2 of your mechanics here to assess the situation with your others. I found myself in the wrong place, but at least allow me to make myself useful.
Acceptable. He glances around for a second. You 2, get back here. Carry on.
I will assist the broken wrist gentleman up and out, heading towards the deck who I may or may not run into a certain medic. We'll see.
You might. Excellent. All right. So, just to recap here, because you're all a little spread out, I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Bernice, you are still socializing, wining and dining, perhaps dancing in the ballroom, where no one has noticed anything amiss yet. TJ, you are now assessing damage. I'm going to not have you roll this time, because you can take your time and you have help. You will eventually learn what is wrong with the engine. But you are in the engine room. Jack, you are assisting the injured mechanic back up to the upper decks. And Lester, where are you heading?
Now
After you
that I've
parted ways?
conversed with the person I wanted to in the ballroom, I kind of feel a little crowded in here, and I'd like to go back out on the deck as my eyes kind of drift back towards the heavens a little bit. And I'm sure eventually there will be some commotion coming up some stairs.
All right. So Jack, you don't know where the crew medbay is, and the gentleman you're assisting is in a significant amount of pain. So
I'm
he's
just
out-
gonna go to the top deck,
Yeah.
and if I see somebody, then
You're like, there's got to be a doctor up there for passengers. I'm just going to go up. Yeah, you just take him straight up and basically right up to where Lester is standing. So, Lester, after you are in quiet contemplation for what seems like only a few minutes, Jack, you come upstairs and you spot Lester.
yeah, and I'll actually like
It's
as
thrilling.
I get on the deck, I'll actually yell out, "Medic! Is there a medic?"
What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm here. Private First Class Lester Yates, field medic, served in the Great War. What's going on? Are you fine? As he look in towards Jack Bing and then towards the other man.
And Jack kind of like stares a bit, like seeing, I think the first time he's seen Lester the entire trip so far, kind of noticing the uniform, and there's like almost like a flash to where Jack also served as a army photographer for a short period, because there are a few people who did not did serve in the Great War, and able-bodied men. So he like almost kind of goes into that training and like sees you and immediately like kind of field carrying him kind of moves over and kind of sets him down. I'm fine. Gentleman, broken wrist, hand, something. I'm not sure. Something with the engine room.
And Lester will look around real quick, and I need, and I look towards Jack. I need 2 splints. Go to the ballroom, find something hard and flat, long to lock his wrist in place, and if they have, and some napkins, or I might have to rip your shirt.
He will, without question, just head towards grabbing, like, as soon as he can see, even if it's like 2 knives, 2 silverware, serving something to grab. Yep. He'll grab some, some cloth napkins, and as he makes his way up, he's taking off his tie and will kind of pull his tie off, unbuttoning his top button, like kind of just as he just pulls it all off, and will as quickly as he can.
And during that time, he's communicating with the man. Sir, what is your name? And it kind of holds his face, like looking in his eyes to see if he's concussed, trying to see if there's anything else that's wrong.
So give me a quick assessment. Give me a first aid roll.
Medicine?
No, first aid in this case, because you're just quickly assessing.
There you go. Okay. Same percentage. That's real good. That's a super critical success. I got a 5.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
my big number I'm trying to get underneath is 75. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's a critical. You immediately are able to assess the man appears to be having concussion or some sort of he may be in shock from the pain, but he is not entirely communicative. He doesn't appear to be. He seems to be coming in and out of consciousness, or something else may be wrong. He's muttering something quietly that you can't quite make out. His eyes won't focus. His pupils are dilated. His wrist is broken. But it doesn't appear to be it's bone's not puncturing the skin. It's not severely fractured, but it's certainly not in the place it's supposed to be. You want to try to communicate with him. I will need a psychology roll.
See. You good? That's a 6, and I'm trying to get a 25.
Well,
One of us is rolling well.
Right? Yeah. Hey,
I've had to roll yet, so I'm like,
doing good in the thing I'm supposed to be doing good at. That's the worst, is when you're doing bad at the thing you're supposed to be good at.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
I speak from experience. Yeah.
So, you assess what's going on. You're not entirely sure what is wrong with him specifically, but it does appear that he is either in shock or he's having some sort of episode. But his muttering quietly over the same phrase over and over again, which is, she doesn't want us to return, or maybe she doesn't want to go back. You're not sure. It's something along those lines.
She who? Your commanding officer, the engineer. Who are you speaking of?
He just continues saying the same thing over and over again. He'll like pause. It's not like rapid fire.
Yeah.
You don't seem to be able to get through to him. Let's jump back over to TJ for a minute and then return to the 3 in the ballroom or near it. TJ, you have a small crew of mechanics working with you. They're all trying to assess the damage, trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the engine. Obviously now it's physically damaged, but it doesn't appear that anything that was happening before was physically preventing the engine from moving. Maybe there was something internally, but it's just like the furnaces were going, but the gears weren't turning. You're not entirely sure. Now there's physical damage. There's 2 gears that are broken. Some pieces are bent. They're off track. So you can go down to the lower decks. There's one more deck below the one you're on to check and see if there's replacement parts, and if not, they're going to have to either make it to London on a single engine, or get another ship out here with parts to repair it.
Great. I'm gonna go check for those spares.
All right. Do you take anyone with you? You head down by yourself.
How big is the crew?
Right now you have 3 men with you.
Okay.
There are more in the crew quarters, but in terms of like mechanics, there are only 5 of you, and 4 of them are here. The other one is upstairs with Bruce.
Great. Right. Well, it's probably not gonna get any more broken. Knock on wood. So I'm gonna grab one of the guys and just have him come down with me, because I figure if we look like 2 heads better than 1, 4 eyes, maybe we can find things better.
All right. So 2 of you head down. Basically, all that's down in this level is furnaces and storerooms. You make your way down and check the storeroom, and why don't you give me a luck roll?
Okay. Be nice to me. That's a 60, and my luck is... Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, I just grabbed 2 regular D10s.
Well,
Try that again with an actual percentile. I got a 0 and a 6. That'll do it.
That could be one of 2 numbers.
yeah.
No, that's a 77.
Oh,
My
well,
luck's 50.
what you get for rolling the wrong dice?
That is. It's my karmic punishment.
All right. There are gears, but you appear to be missing any of the other parts you would need.
Great.
Do you want to go tell the captain, or do you want me to?
I don't think either of us really wants to tell the captain.
Nah, he gonna be pissed.
Fuck. I'll suck it up. Let's get back there.
All right.
See what we can maybe figure out with the first one.
I mean, we could always overload the other engine and get it moving a little hotter, but
Not sustainable.
it's gonna need repairs once we get to London if we do that. Yeah.
Alright. You go back to the engine room. Figure out how long we can overclock it before it gives out.
All right. Catch you later. And he heads back over, leaving you
Wish me luck.
alone as you head up to the upper decks.
Yeah.
You give me a listen roll.
I can certainly try.
I believe in you.
Oh, that's a 28. My listen is 20.
Okay.
So close.
As you're walking down the corridor here in the bowels of the ship, you think you hear something come from one of the storerooms, but you're not sure. Maybe I know it, like someone talking.
Does it sound like a voice that's maybe familiar, or
Maybe a woman's voice. You only catch it for a second.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's gone.
I'm gonna go look.
Okay.
This is a very strange place for women to be.
All right, so you crack
Oh.
the door, spin that crank on it, pull it open. The dark storeroom. It's mostly dry goods, stored food, bottles of alcohol, and fresh drinking water.
Hello? Ma'am? Anyone in here? Fucking mind's playing tricks on me. Close the door. Go back up.
As you shut the door, you hear very faintly laughter.
From
the room. And it's gone.
Fuck. Do I have my toolbox with me?
You have a tool belt with you, yes.
Okay.
So you would have easy access to anything you can carry on you.
Okay. And how are we seeing down here if it's really dark?
There's lights along the walls, but they're dim.
Okay. Does it sound like a grown woman? The laughter still sounded from her?
No, young girl.
Oh, good. Hey, sweetie. Missing your mom? Get lost? Not gonna hurt you. I'm gonna step into the room. Nothing?
Nothing. Do you walk into the room or do you just step through the doorway?
I step into the room.
Okay. So you're standing in the doorway inside the room.
Yeah.
Okay. No, nothing.
All right. Guess that's another thing to look out about. This is not my day. I'll go back up.
As you leave the room and shut the door, give me a sanity roll. As you feel like you step through a wall of cold, like the temperature just changes by 15 degrees and then back.
Love it.
The next step.
That's a 19.
Oh, you passed.
My sanity's 50.
All right. You
Finally.
don't lose any. Ship's temperature fluctuations happen, especially this low, deep underwater. It's probably normal. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's just it's dark. You're by yourself. It's a little creepy. That's probably all it is. And you head up to the upper decks.
Mm-hmm.
When you would be heading towards the helm because that's where the captain went. So you will be arriving not too long after Jack did with your injured roommate. Bernice. This would be right around when you would see that photographer running frantically through the ballroom, talking to a server, grabbing some serving platters and some napkins. He looks a little disheveled. You see him pull his tie off and then run back out of the ballroom to the deck.
Okay, I'm gonna excuse myself from the company that I'm with. It's been wonderful. It hasn't been wonderful. I'm losing my spoons at this point. Actually, I've exceeded my extrovertedness for one evening, and I'm like, thanks. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow, same place. Yes, breakfast. It's gonna be great. And then I'm gonna go follow.
All right. So you follow. You leave the ballroom as if you were heading, to go back to your room. And you see Jack running over to Lester, who is kneeling down next to someone who appears to be injured in some way, although you can't place it because they're kind of blocking your view.
I'm gonna go up to it. Oh, Lester Yates, is there a problem here?
And as you're walking up, you hear Lester speaking to the man, saying, "Who doesn't want you to return? Who is she? Your commanding officer, the captain? Who are you talking about?" Miss Boudreaux.
Oh, Jason. Hi. What's happening?
I have no idea who Jason is.
Yeah, looks towards Jack and then looks towards the man. Is your name Jason?
No, I thought the photographer. You're Jason, right?
Oh, you.
No, ma'am, I'm Jack. Sir, will this help? Are you?
Yeah.
And so
ma'am.
I'm like, oh, like, but I hear is the man on the ground whose wrist is broken. He's speaking English.
He is. He's speaking very quietly.
Okay.
But you would be able to hear him kind of in and out, same phrase over and over again. Just, she doesn't want to go back. Something along those lines, fading in and out. And TJ, you would be arriving at the upper decks right around now.
Miss Boudreaux, since your acting was so great, I'm sure you retained some of the knowledge. If you could hold that splint and that splint in place while I wrap it.
And I'm pretty much like, okay, like I can do this, I think. Do I need to roll for this though?
Yeah. I will need both of you to give me medicine rolls. TJ, you are arriving to witness this specific.
And I see Bernice just looking very confused, or does she seem confident in this?
Well, let's find out.
I am confused. I did not retain any knowledge because I can't believe this. I have a 1 in medicine.
Yep.
And it doesn't
Okay.
matter what I rolled. It was a 29, but I have 1 in medicine.
Okay, that explains my roll then.
No.
So you're doing that, and I rolled an 84. I'm supposed to get under a 75. I'm like, no, you're squeezing it too tight.
Okay. Well,
And the
if
man-
Bernice if they're just looking completely like they're not doing, I'm gonna rush over and probably elbow one of them out of the way. It doesn't even matter which. They're both not doing good. Let me help. Oh my god. So much is happening.
Oh,
Can I
gosh.
try to help and mitigate some of this?
And you just
I will. Yeah.
ungracefully nudge Bernice out of the way with an elbow and try to help stabilize your friend, who I will say you can now also roll a medicine roll.
Oh, I thought I had way more, and I was looking at the wrong line.
Well,
Guy's gonna die.
you're there now.
Die of a
Lester,
broken
now.
wrist.
Excuse me, do you have medical knowledge? Can you assist me? If you can hold that splint in place, I can wrap it. I used to be way better at this, but I
I
just
can-
need assistance.
I can hold it.
Okay.
Can I roll first aid for holding the splint?
I will allow it in this instance.
Damn. Yeah, I'm good at first aid. I am not. I would have passed if it was first aid. Medicine is like, bloop. I'm surprised there's even a 1 there, honestly.
Y'all, I'm gonna burn my dice.
Oh no.
I have a 50 in first aid, and I got an 80.
Well, Lester, as you're going to help stabilize this, and TJ walks over, grabs the wrist, and promptly twists it sideways, thinking that that's how you wanted it to be held. Surprisingly, the crewmate doesn't react.
And Lester kind of sits back on his heels and looks at the man as he's still like in that comatose, keeps repeating the same words despite me watching excruciatingly painful contortion happen to his broken wrist.
Yes.
Mm.
Release the tension. You're twisting his wrist.
Oh,
Who is
Oh.
she? And he looks up to the crew member. Listen carefully. He's speaking. He says, she doesn't want us to return. Who is he speaking of?
TJ, this is your first trip on the SS Avondale. Why don't you give me...
why you gotta make me roll so much?
Because it's fun. No, why don't you just give me a intelligence roll?
That's shockingly high. Okay. That's a 76, so my intelligence is actually 80.
Hey, you
It's
can.
getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better.
You're not sure. You have heard rumors that the ship is haunted by, and you don't know why this didn't click earlier. By the ghost of a woman. It's all starting to kind of come back. Be a young woman. You don't know what
Could
happened.
be the ghost. I
I'm
don't.
sorry. Ghost?
Yeah. Shit, I gotta go talk to the captain. And I'm gonna just start going off. And
As he-
anyone
as he
follows me,
leaves.
that's their prerogative.
Jack looks. Did he just say ghost?
He did.
I think he might have hit his head. There's no such things as ghost.
Okay, maybe these mechanics have some sort of superstition. It can't be ghosts. You know, boats are called she all the time, right?
There's legends and lores of ghosts and ships originating centuries ago. A ghost isn't going to break someone's arm. A ghost, you see, just like confusion, isn't going to stop a ship in the middle of the sea.
Well, a ghost also isn't real. They're not real things, so they can't do anything physical. This person is probably delusional.
This is foul play. This has to be foul play. Like,
Someone's playing games.
Yeah.
We have to figure out who it is.
Story.
Wait. So, frantic mechanic, hurt mechanic, something about not returning. Is something wrong with the ship?
But have you not noticed? The speed of the ship has decreased drastically.
Why will I have noticed? I mean, I just feel wobbles and waves really at this point. So I have no idea.
I actually found myself down in the engine room. One of the engines is out.
What do you mean out?
Like out, like not working. It should be working, but not working.
For a second, I thought you were going to say missing, and I was.
Wait, we're something's broken on the ship? How does that mean we're stuck here? And how close are we to the
Still
edge?
have an engine. No idea how ships work.
Are we close to like the water? Are we close to the edge of the we see the water from where we are?
Actually, you are on deck. You can just look right over at the ocean. It's dark, but you will be able to see because it is a pretty clear evening.
Okay. Well, I'm actually gonna if there's like a wall, I'm gonna kind of press against it. So are you saying we have to? Are we slowing down? Are we just? Is it gonna take longer? Are we stopped?
I'm not supposed to say anything, but I spoke to the helmsman. Never got their rank. And they said that we'll just be a couple of hours late. They must have been informed that there was a problem with the engine, which Jack has informed us that there's probably foul play. Someone is. They would have to be strong. They're not. Aren't these engines really hardy?
It looked like a big piece of metal to me. I mean, I got a photo. I can develop it and see if I notice anything.
Okay. Should we be following? No. It's the ship's crew's problem. We're just passengers. If they need us, they'll come get us.
I mean, if it's only a few hours, I guess I don't have to worry, but I don't want to be on the ocean any longer than I have to. I don't really like it.
Yeah. It's late. We should retire.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and find a medical bay to get this man. We've done more harm to him than was necessary.
That poor mechanic.
Yeah.
Speaking of mechanics, TJ,
Yeah.
you get to the helm. And
on the way, TJ is he's a very clean-shaven man, but not a very clean man, and especially after working on the engines.
You're wearing overalls, you have grease stains.
Nasty.
Yeah.
So he's gonna take a rag off of his belt and just try to clean some of it off. It doesn't work.
No, you mostly just move like the grease stain on this cheek over like here, like across the chin now. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the captain's quarters, so.
Well, it's the helm. It's not the captain's quarters.
The helm, but
yeah,
going to talk to the captain.
You can go. Do you open the door or do you knock?
I knock.
Okay. You hear a gruff voice of the captain. Come in.
Go in.
All right. What status report?
Bad. We do not have the requisite parts in stock.
I didn't want to hear bad. Great. All right.
I didn't want to say it. Sir.
Is it fixable?
Without the parts, not really. We could push the remaining engine as hard as it can go, overheat it. It'll need repairs as well when we get to destination.
Kill a week. Or do we want to kill a couple?
That is your call, sir. If I may. Pushing the engine like that. That one gives out too. We don't got an engines.
I'll make a decision in the morning. It's late. Tell the crew to get some rest. I'll make a decision. We might push the engine a little bit and have a ship meet us from London rather than from New York. Technically closer to New York, but that would keep us moving the entire time rather than sitting here waiting. All right.
Sir. One more thing. I heard a little girl down below decks laughing.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
Alright, I think these were nice last time. 21, which is under 25.
His face goes unusually stoic. And it's from passengers, children play below deck all the time. It happens. They shouldn't be down there. Just chase them out if you see them again.
I'll try, sir. And the man who got his wrist all broke, whispering something about she don't want us to go. I don't know if you subscribe to what we've been talking about, superstitions with the ghost, but thought it was strange.
I'll take that under advisement. For the rest of you, did you follow TJ, or did you just make your way off to go below deck to your quarters?
Lester is trying to usher the mechanic to the appropriate medical room. And it may take a while for them to find that, but the last thing Lester said was like, should we go follow? No, that's the ship's problem. We're just passengers.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like Lester would have immediately getting on ship being like, there's the medical bay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you probably know exactly where it is. It's 2 decks down. Jack, did you follow or did you just head off?
Jack is going to his room.
All right, and Bernice,
Jack has plans.
Yep, back to my room. I'm not helpful with anything.
Okay, then TJ, the captain just goes, I'll take that under advisement. Thank you. He sounds more annoyed than appreciative. But is there anything else?
No, sir. I'll report back.
All right, get some rest. Gonna be a busy day tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Goes back to what he was doing, speaking with the second mate, and they are making decisions on who to radio and all that stuff.
And I'll go back down.
Okay,
and
so
let my men know.
you start heading down below deck. Lester, Jack, you head back to your quarters.
Huh?
I'll circle back around to you. Bernice, you also head to your quarters. Lester, you make your way to the medical quarters. There are 2 decks down. These are the ones that can be used by passengers as well as crew. There is a doctor and a nurse on staff. They are both up and available when you get there.
Okay. I have the man kind of slowly walking as he seems still kind of in that weird catatonic state, wrapped over, supported by my left arm. I walk in. I go, excuse me. There's a mechanic. He has a concussion, and non-responsive irises. His wrist is broken, probably more severely now than when he was originally brought to me. When I first applied the splint, it slipped, and when I had someone aid me, they were in a panic. Something seems to be troubling them upon the ship, and contorted the wrist in such a way that it may be further broken. But
the doctor kind of looks at you, surprised you admitted to all of that, and he's like, help me get him to the cot over here.
I'm not gonna hide medical history. I'm trying to help the dude.
It's just like, help me get him down over here, and he assists you, lays him down, and he gets out something smelly, probably ether, and just knocks him out. And the guy
he was unresponsive. He was unresponsive to pain. Completely unresponsive. When his wrist was contorted in such a way, he kept speaking of uttering the same sentence, words, almost in a comatose state of just like the only thing he could whisper and push out of his lungs was, "She does not want us to return." The mechanic who helped said that the ship is haunted, and I believe under that duress is why they were unable to help in medical aid, which is why I have brought him to your attention currently.
Oh yeah, there's rumors like that on every ship. No worries. I'll get this all fixed up. You may have heard, as a veteran yourself, there's some new studies going around in the psychology field about something they're calling shell shock. If this could be an example of that, he may just be in a impaired mental state due to the injury and the catastrophe that occurred. You said there's an issue with the engine? Or below deck?
Well, the mechanics coming up, and that's where he was injured, is one of the engines seems to be down temporarily, but I've been assured by the person in the helms that everything's fine.
Those engines are volatile. I'm glad this is the worst of the injuries. Thank you for informing me. I will take it from here. Mr. Officer.
Private first class Lester Yates. Volatile?
Well, that whenever you have combustion, things can go wrong.
Okay. Just generally mechanically volatile, not...
Yeah, yes, of course.
The ship isn't notoriously...
No, I didn't mean to cause you any undue stress. No worries.
Okay. I'm gonna... is there an insight in this game?
Why don't you give me... Oh, let's see.
Would it be psychoanalysis?
Yeah, let's do psychoanalysis.
I'm not great at this. Yeah, no. He's telling the truth, it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. But yeah, no. And the nurse comes over and assists him. They start examining the wrist and splinting it, doing basically what you tried to do.
I do linger in this room a second longer than I probably necessary, mainly to clock where all of the supplies are located.
Okay.
I have my field dress kit in my cabin, but it's not fully decked out like this is. So, if there's anything you need, please, bring it to my attention. I'm willing to assist at any times, but it's late. I think I'm going to require, go back to my cabin.
Have a good night. If you need anything, you know where we are.
Okay.
And so yeah, you all head back. TJ, you do anything other than just let the other mechanics and crew know the rest, and the captain will be making a decision on what to do in the morning? Is there anything else you want to do?
No, it's been a really stressful day.
All right, so you just inform the crew and head to your bunk. Jack.
And then out from under the pillow, he pulls a scarf and kind of holds it
Okay.
while he sleeps.
Okay. Jack, what about you? Is there anything you want to take care of before you crash down for the evening?
Yes. Jack is gonna go to his room. He's gonna go to the caged light bulb that kind of slowly barely lights the room, but he'll kind of go into his one of his bags, and he'll pull out red film fabric, and will wrap the light and start pulling out a kit of things, and he's going to turn his room into a dark room, and he's going to start developing some photos.
Okay, so you're going to be up for a while. Excellent. And Bernice, is there anything you want to do?
Nope. Bernice is going to go to the room and change into one of those luxurious nightgowns that might as well be an actual day gown that most people have.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, celebrities, and she's very tipsy, so she's just going to kind of once she finally gets reclothed, just pass out onto the bed.
Okay.
She's thinking about the angel situation, so she may have some weird dreams, but she's going to just go into sleep.
All right. And Private First Class Lester, how about you?
I stay up for a little bit, kind of going back into military, and knowing that there's the thought process of, if there is someone on the ship that is purposefully taking it apart, what is their motives? Who could that be? What do I need to look out for? And there's another little small black book that he has that has strange writings in it, notes that he has. And he writes down the name Bernice Boudreau and writes a question: has seen angels. Closes it, and he'll go to bed.
Excellent. All right. Everyone is resting or working. And some time passes. Jack, you develop your film. Roll me spot hidden.
Good.
That is a hard success.
Right. As you are developing the photo of the engine room, you notice there's an extra person in the room than you remember. See a face kind of peering out from behind the engine at you. Hard to make out. And again, in the photo that you took of DJ running down the corridor, catch a little bit of maybe a dress kind of skirting around a corner, like someone was walking down the hallway, and you caught just the hem of their dress as they were going out of your field of vision. And do you head to bed when you were done developing your film?
Yeah, I'll put my chemicals up, make sure they're safely secured, and we'll remove the red from the light, and we'll just kind of
Okay.
sit staring at those photos, trying to think back. I know there wasn't anyone there. I remember seeing. Was there? No, was, and kind of just lost in thoughts, and eventually exhaustion will just take over and he'll fall asleep.
Okay. You all rest, and in the wee hours of the morning, Bernice, you're awoken to your entire cabin engulfed in flames. And
Okay.
we are going to take a break right there.
All right.
This is fine.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in so far. I hope you're enjoying the game. Thank you to my players. This has been fantastic so far. Don't go anywhere. We have another good hour and a half or so left for you. So stretch your legs, get a drink, grab some popcorn. Don't light your house on fire. And we'll be back very quickly. And we're back. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for waiting. And thank you for joining us this evening as we are going to move into part 2 of The Haunting of the SS Avondale, original Call of Cthulhu one-shot. Before we jump in, I just want to remind people that this is a horror game. We are telling a tale of tragic horror this evening. There will be certain themes and topics discussed that may be triggering for some of you, and if they are, don't worry about it. Just step away, go do something else, and take care of yourself first. We will be here when you get back, or if you don't. It's fine either way. Take care of yourself first. That's what's most important. All right. So we're jumping back in. In the first half of this session, you had a lovely evening aboard the Avondale, dancing, drinking wine, and then there was some engine trouble, and there were some weird things that happened, and a gentleman broke his wrist, and all of you had to speak with the captain in one form or another, or some of you anyway. And then you went to bed. Jack, you noticed some young woman, maybe, or someone wearing a dress anyway, in the photographs that you took of the engine room. And then, Bernice, you woke up in the wee hours of the morning, your quarters engulfed in flames. That is where we pick up.
Yep. All right. So, things on fire.
Yep. You're just surrounded, intense heat bearing down on you.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my pocketbook.
Okay.
And that's it. And I'm gonna. Oh no, it's not it. Grab my pocketbook if that's available to me.
Yep.
And nearby I have a handgun that would have been like under my pillow somewhere. So a handgun and a knife underneath. So I'm gonna grab those weapons.
Okay.
And a brass knuckle. We're just gonna throw everything is right there in my pillow.
I assume the brass knuckles were probably in your handbag.
Yeah.
You know, just in case you needed them. Just in case you needed them at dinner.
Grabbing all of those, and I'm getting out of the room as well as I can. So going to the door to.
Can you give me a let's just call it a dexterity check.
Oh, okay. I like that.
To not get burned as you try to make your way out of the room.
Ooh. Okay, dexterity. Shit. I rolled a 75 and I have a 55. What are the two numbers next to my sheet? I have a 27 and 11.
Oh, those are because there's sometimes increased difficulties. So like I would use that's your half score and your 1/5 score.
Oh.
Those don't apply in this case.
They sure don't. Yeah.
All right, so you leap up and you try to make your way out, and the heat is just overwhelming. You're coughing from the smoke, and you start to collapse before you can make it to the door. A wall of flame cutting off your way.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just grab everything that I have in my hands to my chest and just go down on my knees and kind of like try to fall as close to the door as possible, so maybe I can get close to the bottom of the door where the air comes in.
All right, you kind of crawl a little, get over there, and when you reach the door and you touch it, it's fine. There's no flames, there's no heat, there's no smoke. You roll a sanity check for me.
That's just the 2 dice, the 2 10s.
Yep. And you want to roll below your current sanity.
I'm everything digital. There's my... Okay, I rolled I'm gonna call that a 30, and my sanity is okay. I see 2 numbers for my next to insane. There's a 60 and 89.
60 is your current.
Okay.
So you want to roll below the 60.
All right, I got a 30.
Yeah. All right. So you're fine.
Right.
You do still lose some sanity.
Okay.
But you don't lose as much as you might have otherwise, and you will actually lose 2.
think.
So now it goes down to 48 or 58, right?
Okay. I'm gonna open the door and look outside down the hall. All right. Close the door back, lock it, and I'm gonna lay back down. But I'm not gonna go immediately back to sleep because now I'm gonna have to fight sleep because that was a bad dream. Just nervous about the ship. We're fine. I'm fine. And I'm just gonna lay down and kind of keep monitoring that to myself.
And eventually you do drift back off to sleep, although it's fitful. TJ. You're resting. You also have a fitful night of sleep, but it's not for the same reason as Bernice. The memory of the voice you heard in the storeroom keeps coming back to you. Something doesn't feel right about it. And at some point, you are awake, and you can hear someone else up. The page is turning in a book. Someone else in the room, because you share a room with several other of the crew members. Someone else is up reading.
Do I see any light?
After a moment, letting your eyes adjust, you do notice there's like a flashlight on. So like they have the blanket pulled up over their head, so like they're not keeping everyone else awake. But yes, you do notice light coming. It appears to be Rodney's bunk.
Okay. Get up, sit up, tuck the scarf securely back under his pillow. Kind of check the bindings under his shirt and slide out of bed.
Okay.
Go over to Rodney's bunk, making enough noise on the way over there that I won't startle him when I get up to him, but not enough to wake up anybody else.
Yeah, no, you make enough room, like clear your throat or whatever, and you notice, like, you could see him move, like the light comes up, he's like, shit. And then the flashlight clicks off. There's still some ambient light in the room, and then your eyes adjust, you see him, he pulled the blanket back down, like, oh, sorry, did I wake you up?
No, I wasn't sleeping too good anyway. Fucked up day.
Nope. Yeah, I know what you mean. You want a drink?
Yeah.
Okay. And he gets up and he kind of motions for you to follow him, and he moves out of the sleeping quarters into kind of like a common room for crew members to hang out in. He grabs reaches like kind of behind a bookcase, like behind the books on it, and pulls like a half bottle out, 2 glasses, and pours you both a decent portion of brown alcohol. International waters.
Anything goes.
Yeah, no, I couldn't sleep either. I hate all the stress of everything. I've been on the ship too long.
How long?
Well, this is my 4th trip. I'm gonna transfer to a different one after this, I think. Good to change scenery.
Not because this all happens a lot.
No, this is the first time that an engine's gone out. It's too much. Give me a... God, I wish there was an insight.
Isn't it generally psychology?
Yeah, it's generally psychology, so why don't you give me a psychology?
Okay.
See how you do.
No, 65.
Well, nope. He seems like something's wrong, but not. You can't put your finger on it.
What do you? God, stupid fucking question. You know the talk about the ghost.
Yeah.
How much stock you put in it?
Weird shit always happens on ships. It's always going to happen on ships. I don't know. It's probably, I don't know, 60% true, 40% false.
That's a lot of truth in the scheme of things.
I mean, listen, you're on a ship for what, a couple weeks as a passenger, maybe a couple days, a couple weeks, depending where it's going. Things happen, people die. You're always gonna have accidents. Who knows? And I don't know if I put stock in ghosts, but you know, bad things happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Not like bad things don't happen on land.
Exactly. They happen anywhere. When you're in a ship, though, it's close quarters. It's not like you can leave and go somewhere else where the bad thing didn't happen. People talk. People make up stories to help them understand it better, I guess.
You've been here 4 trips?
Yeah, this is the 4th.
Worst it's happened was today?
No, I wouldn't say that's the worst that's happened, but it's the worst that's happened to the crew. Worst I've had to deal with.
So if we gotta stay here for, depending on what the captain decides, even more days.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping they decide to push forward. We'll see.
Yeah, I just don't want that other one to go out too.
Yeah. Fair.
He's just gonna sit quietly for a while and sip his drink.
Yeah, Rodney does the same. He's just like, you're both awake, so it's better to. It's weird if you're not acknowledging each other's presence. He finishes his drink eventually. Says, well, "All right, I'm gonna turn back in. Hopefully that'll help me sleep."
Good luck.
You too. And he goes back into the quarters, lays down. And you're alone again.
He's drinking slower than he was. Just not enough to get extremely wasted or anything, but trying to pace it.
All right. Give me a listen check.
Let's try this one and this one. Oh, 60 even, so no. Should grab my other dice on break.
You sit quietly, sipping the whiskey. And you eventually realize that you don't hear anything. You don't hear the normal pings and creaking of pipes and metal. You don't hear the snoring of the crewmates in the other cabin. It's like everything has just gone deathly silent.
And as I realize that, I just start to feel deeply, deeply unsettled. And is the glass in my hand, is the whiskey still making noise as I kind of drink and move it?
You, if you clear your throat, if you cough, if you speak, you can hear yourself. Yes.
Okay.
But it's like nothing else on the ship is making noise.
I'm gonna go check the engine room.
Okay. You get up and you walk down the hallway. Go down a flight of stairs. Walk
I'm
down
gonna grab a flashlight before
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, you grab a flashlight, click it on, make your way down a hallway, down a flight of stairs, your footsteps echoing down the corridor. And when you approach the engine room, the doors open slightly. You can see a flicker of candlelight coming from inside.
Hello?
No response.
Step closer, like up to the door. Hello? Slowly push it.
As you open the door, you're hit with an overwhelming sense of panic. Like trapped somewhere. Like you don't think that the door is gonna shit. Give me a sanity check.
This is the only thing I can roll well on. 18.
Lose 1.
Okay.
You wake up in your cot.
Is my scarf under my pillow or am I holding it?
It's under your pillow.
Is Rodney awake? Like in reading?
Nope.
I'm going to sit up, wrap my scarf around, and just sit there.
Okay. And you sit there until the other crew members start to wake up and get up and go about getting ready for the morning shift. Lester, you do sleep through the evening. It's not great sleep, as the stress of the previous day kind of wore at you, but you do sleep through the evening. And you are actually woken up to a knock on your cabin door.
How firm is the knock?
It's pretty militaristic is the best way to describe it. Very perfunctory, just
Okay. We'll get up, pinch his bridge of his nose. 1 second, and just throw on a shirt and and some quick pants, and open the door and looks out. Who's standing there?
it is the captain.
Captain, I presume.
Yes, Private First Class Yates.
Yes. Straightens up. And how can I be of assistance?
I just wanted to thank you for your assistance last evening. I was told that you were incredibly helpful with our crew member who was injured, as well as spoke with my second officer about the incident that occurred on the ship.
Are you speaking of the engines?
Yes. Sure. I just wanted to thank you for your discretion regarding that matter, as well as your assistance with everything else that happened.
No problem. I'm here to help in any way as necessary. Again, as I told your second command, I'm not very well versed in mechanics, but I can assist. I still have one good arm, and medically I can assist anybody that needs it. But what time is it?
Oh, it is 8 a.m.
Okay. All right. What's the updates on the engines?
I am going to be giving a full update to the entire ship. I was actually wondering if you would join me for breakfast.
Sure. Let me, look a little bit more presentable. But I'd be where should I meet you?
Absolutely, you can meet me in the main ballroom in let's say 20 minutes.
Okay. Your other mechanic, are they okay? They seem to be suffering a minor mental breakdown.
The one that was not injured?
Yeah, believe I got the name. James. Mr. James.
No, we don't. Seems to he thinking about it for a minute.
I think they went by 2 letters. TJ.
Ah, yes, TJ. Well, we will find out at breakfast, won't we?
Okay. Can I ask a question privately in confidence?
Certainly, I suppose.
There's lore throughout history of these things, and it could be just hearsay. I'm more worried about the actual physical representations of someone taking said lore and making it more perceivable reality. They whispered stories of a ghost haunting the ship, a woman, but that's not what matters. What matters is that there's obviously someone that could be attacking the ship and its patrons.
Ah, well, I assure you that there is no one attacking the ship, but regarding ghosts or anything like that, simply superstition, I assure you. Why don't you go ahead and give me a psychology check?
That's a 23, and my psychology is a 25.
He is lying.
Hmm.
There is something else going on, and he was not telling you.
Okay. Thank you for the reassurance. Superstitions are what they are. I just don't want people to play off of the superstitions for their own nefarious means.
Precisely. I intend to hopefully quell any concerns or rumors at breakfast this morning. Excellent.
Thank
Well,
you, Captain.
I have a few more people to speak with, so I will see you at 8:20.
Okay. And I will hang out at the door and watch the captain leave.
He actually only walks a few yards down the hallway and then knocks on another door.
I'm going to see who answers before I close my door.
Jack. You are woken up. You stayed up much later than some of the others. You were woken up rudely, perhaps a little early for you.
Yeah, he like reaches over and like grabs a pocket watch and
Barely 8 a.m.
And kind of like reaches over and kind of feels around and grabs a flask, opens it, takes a swig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm coming. And we'll kind of like take the photos and kind of just like slide them under something.
Okay.
As he opens the door. Yeah, I'm awake. I'm up. Yeah.
Lester, you see Jack, the photographer from the previous evening, open the door. And Jack, you were greeted by the captain, dressed smartly.
Jack is not wearing a shirt.
Yeah. Mr. Bing.
Just trouser. Oh, Captain. Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you for your assistance yesterday evening. And ask if you would accompany me and join me for breakfast this morning. We'll be making an announcement to the whole ship about the incident as well as what the intended plan of action is.
Yeah, that, of course. Yeah, it was my pleasure, Captain. I was there, and you had men needing to do work. I didn't want to take that away. Yeah, let me put a shirt on and grab my camera, and I'll be on. Well, where am I meeting you?
Certainly. The ballroom for breakfast. About 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you, Captain.
Excellent. Thank you. He turns and walks off.
And again, Jack just kind of, much like Lester, kind of watches him walk off. Like, definitely that investigative, mind kind of working. Like, there's definitely more going on here. The captain knows everything that happens on a ship, so he's definitely more like, okay, I'm gonna do this because there's a story here, and I'm gonna crack it, and this is it. This is my big break. And so he's gonna get dressed, grab his two cameras, his portable camera, pocket camera, and then his larger camera. Kind of throw on a new vest and a shirt, and kind of put on a new tie. And we'll kind of look at the flask and hesitate, but then we'll grab it and tuck that in his back pocket as he will make his way.
All right.
To dinner or to breakfast.
TJ. You're getting up, starting to get moving with the rest of the crew. Already been going for an hour or so when one of the officers of the ship stops in and kind of looks around. He's like, puts down a piece of paper. There a TJ, a James around here?
It's me, sir.
Oh yeah, the captain wants to speak with you up in the ballroom. He said, clean up a little and come on up.
Can I ask why, sir?
He's going to be making an announcement about what the plans are, and wants to, I guess, recognize you for your assistance last night.
Looks very confused. Says, yes, sir.
All right. Just turns around and walks away.
Gonna go back to his bunk. Try and find a button down. Hasn't been worn in a while. Try to clean off.
Yep, you're able to get some water and a cloth and clean your face up, grab a clean shirt. You're fine.
Yeah, and then try and find like a mirror.
Okay, yeah, no, there's the mirror.
Just to double check. Make sure nothing's too awful or out of place.
Because you can get it.
Then, go up.
All right. Bernice. You are awake still. And there's a light knock on your door.
Okay, I'm at some point, probably around 7-ish, an hour before, I decided that I wasn't going back to sleep, so I just went ahead and got up and got prepped.
Yeah.
And I just happened to have somebody gave me some instant coffee. Even though the water I have in my room is cold, I am like trying to sip this. And I go to the door with my I'm already dressed for the day. Made sure my hair is presentable, and I answer the door.
All right. The captain is standing there.
Oh, Captain, to what I owe the pleasure.
Miss Boudreaux. I wanted to first of all introduce myself. It's a pleasure having you aboard the ship. I know we spoke very briefly when you boarded, but I was hoping that you would accompany me to breakfast this morning. We'll be making an announcement about the events of last night, which I know you are aware of. As I've been told this morning, you were of assistance with the crew member who was injured, and I wanted to thank you for your help and also invite you to dine with me.
So there's a lot of emotions that just happened because I'm like, oh, breakfast. Oh, the guy that was hurt. Oh, announcement. Oh, but based off the guy that was hurt. Well, thank you. I will make sure to cancel my other breakfast plans because these are much more extravagant. So in relation to the hurt mechanic, is there a bigger announcement to be made?
Yes, sadly we have had some engine trouble, which is how the mechanic was injured, and we're just going to be announcing a delay in our trip as well as, what the plan is to rectify it.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're very busy this morning to plan for that. I will wait to hear at breakfast. So I will see you in, I will head there shortly.
Excellent. I will see you there.
Okay. And I'm gonna go back in. I think I'm gonna change clothes. Whatever I was wearing is definitely not breakfast with the captain ready. So I'm gonna change clothes to something, just one notch up, and down the rest of the coffee.
Okay.
And grab my pocketbook. And usually I do have my brass knuckles in there, but I'm going to put my knife and my gun in it.
Okay. Excellent.
Who are you?
I love her.
And and then I'm gonna head to breakfast.
All right. So everyone basically meets.
I do have the question, if it is okay.
Yes.
Lester would like to. He thinks about it for a moment, but then thinks about everything that could possibly be going on, and hides a gun and a field knife on him, a handgun. But he takes his field dress kit, as people might get injured, and he needs to help them out. So
you never know on this ship.
Yeah, he brings his field dressing kit. He doesn't hide that. That's obvious.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you have someone might get shot, someone might get punched with brass knuckles. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, so you do so, and unless anyone else wants to do anything first, you actually all convene around the same time, heading towards the captain's table.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Were we all summoned by the captain?
I was. Were y'all?
It seems like our circumstances matched up. I mean, I was expecting to have a breakfast at least one point of this journey, but it seems that all the dots connected for the same crew to be together today.
I would like to spot hidden to kind of address the surroundings to see, like, are we secluded? Is the room completely empty? Like, especially with the vibe I got off the captain this morning, like, Yates is a little unsettled.
So yeah, no, you are approaching the, you have just entered basically the ballroom again at the same time. There are quite a few people in here. A good number of the ship has arrived for breakfast. Obviously, it's not as extravagant as dinner. There's not a band playing, but why don't you give me that spot hidden roll as well? We'll see if you see anything else.
Oh, that's bad. It was almost good.
Hop on.
It's a 100.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'll keep
The worst number you can get.
Let me. I'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh
say that.
no.
I love when my keeper says that.
Yeah, right.
And
Wow.
you all go and sit down.
I have an idea,
Um,
and it's terrible timing, as I did not spot him coming up, and I lean over to everyone, and I say, "The captain knows there's something supernatural happening on this ship."
There's no such thing as supernatural at first class.
I don't think we confirm that.
It doesn't exist. It has to be logically explained.
Whatever is happening, the captain lied to my face.
That I believe. Supernatural, not possible. Doesn't exist. There's no possible explanation that there's anything supernatural ever happening.
Well,
But
there's-
I
that-
believe
that's
that there
not-
is there is something going on.
If supernatural doesn't exist, then why would your paper write about it?
I don't know.
I mean, for the ratings, of
Legitimately
course.
looked confused because this would have been before he was a
Yeah.
part of the paper because he was
Yeah.
in the Great War as well. So
I mean,
And
the ratings,
about
of
this,
course.
about this time, TJ thinks he might. Something starts to kind of click.
Yeah,
I,
TJ,
like,
why
kinda
don't
look
you
at-
give me an intelligence roll?
Okay. Apparently, I'm good at that. Yeah, that's a 65.
You suddenly realize Private First Class Yates looks very familiar to you.
Yep.
Like you might have actually served together
Mhm.
for a brief stint.
Uh-huh. Just gonna kind of put that in the back of my brain. I don't. Bad things happen on ships. Bad
what?
things happen everywhere. It's a ship. You're in the same place for.
Look, I'm just gonna say the medical doctor that works upon this ship, his exact words verbatim were, "Yeah, these engines are volatile." When I clarified, he didn't mean that they are these engines specifically, but engines in general. But that was a very strange choice of words.
Volatile, like, could catch fire?
There's
Or-
fire that powers them, ma'am.
I just had the strangest evening and strangest dream about fire. And it's not the first time, Mr. Lester Yates, that you've spoken of something very similar to, I feel like, things that align with experiences I've had. So it's a little unnerving, I'll be honest, to hear the mention of volatility and fire so early in the morning.
If I may try to put your mind at ease, ma'am, volatility in engines is just a fact. They run on fire, fire gets hot, sometimes things wear down. It's not unheard of. It's not. The word isn't anything to be concerned about.
But
It's just
could it,
this one's time to wear down.
but if it is wearing down, could the whole ship per se catch on fire?
Oftentimes parts are replaced at different times. So, most likely not.
Okay. All right.
All engines run off of fire. There's coal, there's fuel, there's steam. It all makes sense in how they work. Let's not push ourselves to thinking of the worst case scenarios. We understand that one of the engines has been disabled.
Yes, we did not have the requisite parts. I'm sure it's what the part of what the captain's gonna talk about.
And on that note, you do see the captain kind of look over in your direction expectantly as you have kind of just entered the ballroom, and he is standing at his table waiting for you to make your way over to him.
Jackal, like, kind of gripping his camera, like, too close to his chest, almost like a comfort blanket, just kind of awkwardly makes his way to the table.
I'm gonna put on airs and like, oh, okay, it's time to be at the table, and walk over and sit down. Probably right next. If I can get as close as the captain, if not,
Oh
right
yeah,
next
no,
to the captain, as
he
close as the
pulls a
captain.
chair out for you.
Okay. Then I'll
Stiffly,
mimosas, please.
uncomfortably, surrounded by fancy people.
Yep.
Going over.
All right. You all arrive. He nods. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. He motions to one of the other officers who rings a bell to get everyone's attention. The room goes quiet. Folks, passengers, distinguished guests, I want to first of all apologize for interrupting your breakfast. We do have an announcement. We have had some engine trouble on the ship. Nothing too alarming. We're taking care of it, but I just want to let you know that it has delayed us a little bit. We're probably going to arrive in London a day late. Just so you know, we are taking, like I said, we are taking care of it. He gestures towards you, TJ. He's like, we have some of our finest mechanics working on the problem as I speak, as well as the we have some new parts coming in just to make sure everything is tip-top. So we will be making our way as rapidly as possible towards London, and a ship will meet us. If anyone has any concerns, you can feel free to speak to me after breakfast, but I just want to let you know everything is being taken care of. On that note, I want to thank the guests who are seated with me this morning for their assistance last night. They were instrumental in helping us assess the problem. He nods to you, TJ. Supporting some of our injured crew members who were injured when the engine broke. And he nods to the rest of you. So thank you so much, and thank you for joining me for breakfast this morning. So if you will all go back, enjoy your breakfast. Again, you can find me afterwards if you have any questions. Good morning. Again, thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, I can answer them, but as I said to everyone else, everything is fairly underway. We are going to be overhauling the engine room to get the remaining engine working at maximum capacity and getting us on our way to London, where a ship will be meeting us with the necessary parts to repair the other engine and get us moving at normal operations once more.
Lester leans in a little bit with a quieter voice to not raise alarm to the other guests. And is it safe to push an engine that hard? And as he kind of looks towards TJ as well.
Oh, absolutely, for short periods of time, if you must understand. We wouldn't want to do it for the entire voyage. That would cause undue stress and potentially harm, cause issues like what happened with the other one. But for a few days, it'll be perfectly fine.
And
TJ will nod in confirmation.
What is the estimated delay that we may be expecting?
I may have undersold it a little bit to everyone else. We're looking at probably 2 to 3 days at this point. Until we are going to be moving at half speed until we can rendezvous with the ship that we have already contacted, who's going to be bringing us some necessary parts to repair the other engine. We could wait until we get to port, but we do know that you have a film shoot to get to, and we have other distinguished guests who have very important matters to attend to, so we are trying to do our best to accommodate everyone.
Well, I am deeply humbled that you would take my schedule into consideration. As you know, they say time is money, but I understand that we don't want to push anything too stressful and the possibility of doing any extra damage to the ship.
Absolutely.
Jack is not really paying attention to anything that's being said. He is just scanning the crowd or the tables, looking for anyone who matches the description of who he saw in the photos.
Oh. Why don't you give me a spot hidden roll?
Okay. That is a 45, which not hard to say. So 45, so a success.
Okay. You don't see anyone who matches the face you saw.
Okay.
What you do see, however, is split seconds before it falls, you notice the rope on the chandelier in the ballroom snap as it comes plummeting down to the dance floor below it. Luckily, there were no tables there, but there is a crash, a scream. Everyone begins to panic.
I think in that split second of seeing it, his initial almost like reflexive action would be to take a picture of that moment.
As you see the rope snap, you're able to lift your camera and snap a photo of the chandelier midair plummeting towards the wooden floor.
And then immediately is going to stand up and be startled as the crash goes, and almost looking towards where it snapped to see if he saw any, he can see anything, if just doing what he can to just look. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, Yates would have jumped to attention, being ready for anything like this to happen. And he looks towards Jack. He goes, "What did you see? Who was it?"
It just broke. Nothing. I didn't see any. I don't think there was anybody injured.
The room is pandemonium right now. People are scattering. People are trying to crew members are trying to keep people away from the broken glass. There's small fires that are being put out. DJ,
I looked.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I look towards the captain. What is his demeanor?
For a moment he seems in complete shock, and then he gets up and he starts barking orders. He's just being very authoritative, very calm and in control. But for a moment, just panic and shock on his face.
Reassuring, actually.
TJ and Bernice, how are you reacting? What are you doing?
Instant shock. Also, just immediately stands up, bolt upright. Heart starts to kind of go a little bit. Takes a breath, try and calm himself, and looks at the rest of the table, not doing much except for the captain barking orders, and goes to get a broom.
Goes to get a broom. Okay.
He works here.
Yep.
Bernice definitely clutched her bag closer, actually was somewhat reaching inside at the loud sound, realizes what's happening, and is just kind of for moments taking in everything, also very shocked and a little surprised and a little scared. You said there were fires, a fire broke out?
Small fires.
Did a fire happen?
Because this was an old chandelier. There's actually candlelit.
Okay.
So there's small fires, but they're being put out very quickly.
Okay.
But why don't you give me a sanity check?
I knew it's coming. Whew. Okay. Where are you at, Dan? I got a 91. And my sanity was at a 58.
That is a failure then. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, no.
Bernice, why don't you give me an intelligence check? As you lose 6 sanity.
3, 4.
Could be
5,
worse.
6.
Could be worse.
Could it though? Okay.
Could it though?
You gotta roll 100.
Better roll 100, I guess.
All right. I'm rolling. It's always 2 10s, right? You said?
Yep.
Okay.
And you want, so for this roll, you actually want to fail it. You want to roll higher than your intelligence.
Oh, good. All right, I got a 74, and my intelligence is a 50.
Okay. You freeze up.
Oh shit. Okay.
Just complete panic, just frozen in place, and the rest of you notice this immediately. It's not the chaos, it's not the event itself. Something you can tell that like a minute after she takes in the scene, Bernice just completely freezes up, and she's just sitting there, panicked expression on her face.
TJ, on his way to get a broom, notices, veers back around.
Okay.
Just kind of puts his arm not on her arm, his hand not on her arm, but kind of close to it.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you wanna go back to your room?
No. There's the fires. I'd rather stay near people.
Okay, they're getting put out, I promise. It's okay. You wanna sit down?
Yes. Water, please.
Absolutely.
And there's like, I'm trying to see if there's water on the table, but I can't differentiate. Like water, orange juice, like there's liquid. I need water.
Kind of help her get to her seat. And is there like a pitcher and a glass on the table, or?
There is, in fact.
Okay. I'm gonna pour her a glass of water and hand it to her. Make sure she's got a grip on it before letting go.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's just.
I'm gonna sip it slowly.
It's okay.
For the rest of you, Jack and Lester, what are you doing now after the initial reaction?
Takes a while for Lester, and continuing off of that 100, he should have probably been the first one to notice Miss Boudreaux's reaction and to be the one that's helping her, but his suspicions, he's just overthinking things, and for a short second he goes back into the mindset of where he was in the war, where you constantly have to look over your shoulder, you constantly have to be aware of your surroundings, and then it oftentimes becomes too much and you lose everything in the noise. And then sees TJ helping Miss Boudreaux, pouring the glass of water and reassuring her, kind of snaps back and goes, is there a problem? Can I help you? Miss Boudreaux?
I just need to. Water is fine. Thank you. I'm startled. I was just very, very startled by the chandelier and the candles.
It's okay. You'll be okay. Just take a breath, okay?
Jack, you're kind of taking in the scene. Give me a listen check.
14. That is a success. Listens a 35. That's actually a hard success.
As two crew members move past you, moving over to clean up and kind of take care of everything, you overhear them talking back and forth, and one of them says, this keeps happening. Like, shit just keeps going wrong every trip. We have to take care of this. I'm gonna transfer to a different ship. I'm just gonna get out of here. And then they move off.
Jack's gonna hear this, and so Jack's kind of in his head. He's like, kind of thinking there is something going on here, and he's gonna kind of separate himself from the rest of the group, and he's gonna start making his way towards the captain's quarters.
Okay. Interesting. You would know where they are.
He believes that the captain is not being completely upfront, especially hearing more, and he feels like he can find out more information there. So he's going to attempt to slip into the captain's quarters to photograph some evidence.
Okay. In the commotion, you are able to slip off very easily from the rest of the people in the hall. But what about the people at the table with you? Lester, Denise, TJ. Would you notice Jack slip away?
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna notice.
No, you would not. No.
Yeah. Okay. Established.
TJ, Lester, if you think that you would have the frame of mind to notice, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll? If not, you can choose not to.
Maybe. I'm pretty focused on Bernice, but maybe a peripheral.
You want me to roll stealth?
No, actually, you don't need to.
No worries.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, no, you're both engrossed in what's going on with Bernice and everything else. Jack, you're able to slip off. So we'll jump back and forth. Jack, you were able to easily make your way down the hallway. No one else is around. Everyone is hyper-focused on what just happened. And slip down. How's your lock-picking skills?
Would that be locksmith?
Yes, it would.
Not good. Not good at all.
Probably the worst.
Yeah, like as bad as you can get. It's a 1.
Yep.
It's me in medical. I don't want to.
Why don't you give me a luck roll?
Okay, I can do that.
I bet Bernice has good luck, Smith.
That is a hard success with a 15.
Captain's quarters are unlocked.
Yeah, so he'll kind of go in and just kind of reach in, try the handle, looking around, and we'll just close his eyes, and he'll, hear it click, and then open. And he goes, quickly slips in, shuts the door.
Yep. Very tidy, very neat, well organized. There's a bookshelf with some ledgers on it, a bookshelf with some reading on it, a desk for him to work at, a bed, dresser, a chest that is padlocked, and that's about it.
Okay. He's gonna
Very
start
smart.
looking to see if he can find any information about the sabotages, the potential of like a captive, a girl, like woman captive. Like he 100% is not thinking supernatural at all. Like he is looking for actual physical evidence of potential foul play. Maybe the captain's using the ship as a ruse for something. So he is looking for legitimate stuff.
Why don't you give me a spot hidden roll?
That is a success with a 52.
Okay.
Spot hidden at 75.
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
The rest of you, you're still in the ballroom. Things are calming down. People are getting a little more organized. Captain's made an announcement about, accidents like this happen. The chandelier can swing naturally with the waves in the ocean and rub against the pulley system for them to lower it and clean it and all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. You're not buying it. TJ, you know that that's very unlikely. This rope was checked at the beginning of the voyage, and it was basically brand new. Lester, you've now caught the captain lying more than you're just starting to pick up on his tells. Bernice, you are calming down.
Okay.
Take that as you will and react accordingly,
Yeah.
but you're starting to be in control of yourself once more.
I'm going to have looked at, like, even though the chandelier fell and that was distressing, I'm going to try to follow where the line sort of was and would have come from, if there was anything additional in the, like, looking for where a break could have happened, or was it a break, like, literally right above the chandelier?
Basically right above the chandelier, right up by the ceiling.
Okay, so I'm looking at the ceiling, like, in terms of, thinking in terms of how movie sets work, like how would somebody get up there, like,
There's some
this
rigging.
was an actual person.
There's some
Okay.
rigging for them to mount lights on. There's a pulley system with a rope that they can raise and lower the chandelier.
Okay.
And of the, it's standard. It's designed so people can get up there if they need to clean things, replace bulbs for the electrical lights, change things with the chandelier, etc. But
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of, I'm just investigating that area and trying to see if, it leads to anywhere that looks like somebody could have been hidden or something. I don't know that I would see anything, but just kind of keeping that in mind of, okay,
Nope,
how would a person have gone up there?
you don't see anything that shouldn't be there.
Okay. So I'm gonna release the hold on my purse for now and just sort of like continue sipping water and thank you. TJ, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I don't know what came over me. It's just the excitement of it
okay.
all was a little too much.
Things happen. It's startling. Do you want a morning drink? It's got the orange juice and the bubbly.
A mimosa.
Yeah,
darling.
do you?
Yes. I think I'll pass this morning. I feel like I should have a little bit more of my wits about me, but if
Understandable.
you never have one, go ahead and order me one, and you can.
Oh, no, thank you. I try not to drink this early.
That's true. And on the job, I'm sure. So you've been doing wonderful
That
so
too,
far.
yes.
Speaking of on the job, TJ,
Yes, sir.
who's been here the longest? Amongst the working crew. Well, obviously, the captain's probably been here the longest, but I mean, who amongst the engineers, the custodials, the swabs?
Would I know that off the top of my head? Rodney was telling me last night he was on his 4th run, but...
Yeah, and you know that a lot of the crew, this is their 2nd or 3rd.
Okay.
Rodney's is the 4th. Some of the officers have been here longer. Captain, obviously.
Yeah.
Rodney is the one who's been here the longest that you can think.
Okay. On the crew, sir, there's man Rodney.
You think I could speak with Rodney?
Don't see why not, sir. Would you like me to go get him for you? Or would
Thanks
you
for a
rather go to
moment.
him?
Miss Boudreaux, are you fine with being by yourself?
I mean,
You can accompany us. I'm just wondering what you would like to do.
Oh, if we're going to find him, I don't know if the below decks is suitable for such a lady.
where?
Unless you wish to, Miss.
I'm
Drow.
gonna notice now that Jack is missing. Did anyone see where Jack went?
Where is Jack?
I seem to not have been paying too close attention.
Dead.
I think I'll be fine up here. You go and investigate, and I'll keep an eye on anything up here. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice, as they say. So I feel like maybe here is probably safest for me.
All right.
Funny saying.
All right, so you two are going to get up and slip out of the ballroom. Bernice, are you going to stay in the ballroom, or do you look for Jack?
I'm gonna go look for Jack.
Excellent. All right, so I'm gonna say, why don't you give me make this easy. Give me a spot hidden roll. See if you can kind of track him down.
I already know what that is, and that is I got a 50 and a
25.
That's 25.
Okay. It's gonna take you a little while, so you kind of start looking around. Jack.
Okay, just gonna mosey through the halls.
You start going through books, and you start with the ledgers. Kind of flipping through, going back through past voyages, and you see note of an investigation. Investigation turned up No signs of foul play. Deemed an accident. Heartfelt condolences to family. Record stricken. Court agreed. Future passengers do not need to be made aware of incident.
My portable camera will click a picture of that. Each page of that document.
It references a date, but nothing else. So you can flip through the ledgers and find more. If you do so, all you find is a single line entry, which says, girl killed in furnace, appears to have snuck below deck, slipped and fell in. Family is heartbroken, unsure how she was able to get in and down there. Investigated. Will speak with crew. Stealing records for police investigation upon arrival in London.
Okay. Now photograph that.
Those are the only references to it you find. If there's anything else, it's in different paperwork.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start looking through other stuff, looking for anything. Like, all right, definitely. His mindset doesn't go to, oh, that means there's a ghost girl. His mindset goes to, okay, there is past foul play. This is not, and there's a cover up. The captain is definitely shady. What more can I find on him?
Okay. So you keep looking. PJ and Lester, you make your way below deck down towards the crew quarters.
TJ is not really talking to Lester. Just walking very like good posture, stiff and upright. He's not a very tall man. He's maybe like 5'5", 5'6", but he's definitely like trying to make himself as tall as possible while escorting the officer.
Are you a religious man, TJ?
Not anymore, sir.
Me either. Seen too many evils that man does upon each other to believe there's anything greater, at least benevolent, looking down upon us. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing else out there.
Seen too much horrible happenstance, and it all seems to be rather mundane. Just bad.
Sometimes it's not mundane. Lester doesn't say anything else until we find Rodney.
Neither does TJ.
Walk in silence, make your way down, and well, Rodney, being another one of the mechanics, doesn't have a lot to do just yet. So you find him relaxing and reading a book.
Knock on like a bed frame to get his attention.
Hey,
Rodney.
Yeah.
Hey.
How can I help you?
Got an army doctor wants to talk to you. Cause you've been on the ship the longest. Got some questions. Chandelier fell upstairs.
Oh, yeah, I heard. Luckily, I didn't have to go deal with it. Sorry, you did. Wait.
I was up. Captain called me to breakfast. I don't want to talk about it.
My
I didn't do nothing but give him bad news, so I don't
Yeah.
understand.
All right. Anyway, yeah, sure. He puts the book down, puts a bookmark in it, puts it down, stands up, walks over.
Private Yates.
Yeah, cool. Rodney, how can I help you?
He goes to shake his hand and he kind of looks down. And
Yeah, he extends his right hand,
left.
kind of pauses, and then just switches and extends his left.
And he, just as normal, just waits for the realization, shakes his hand. First question I wanted to ask, how is your mechanic? Last night, the one that got injured?
Oh, I haven't gone and checked on it.
Oh.
He's like, oh, yeah, I guess I should have done that, huh?
Well, hopefully they're well. How many years have you been upon the Avondale?
Oh, years? 1-ish?
Okay.
I know, we've done a couple trips.
Got it.
I've gone back and forth, like, this is my 4th trip over. 5th, 4th, yeah, something like that.
All right. These engines, they ever given you any trouble before?
No, but you know, it happens. They have constant wear and tear of just travel. They break down eventually. So, I had to repair one during the war, just from the ship traveling non-stop, going around. Definitely had one breakdown. Similar way, not quite the same, but
Yeah. I understand seeing many engines, especially pushing them too hard, or dirt, grime, whatever. A
Yep.
bullet hole gets in it. It's strange.
Some-
Things can happen.
yep.
There's just something's unnerving me. How close are you with the captain?
Close? Not. I wouldn't say I'm close at all. I mean, I've been here longer than most of the crew, so I know him, but I've never had breakfast with him.
It's not. Don't tell the others.
Oh, don't worry, I won't.
Yeah, you will, you fucker.
Can I ask something in confidence that
Uh,
hopefully stays within these walls?
I suppose so.
Do you trust the captain?
Do I trust the captain? I never paid me late. I trust him as much as anyone I don't really know, I guess.
Is there something the captain would like to keep hidden about this ship?
All right. Come here. He ushers you into the room and shuts the door. You did not hear this from me, okay? A couple of trips ago, not the last one, but the one before it, when we were heading to London, little girl was playing around below deck. Because kids wander down here all the time. We have to shoo them back upstairs. Got lost. Must have tripped and fallen, fell into one of the furnaces. Died.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Must have. Are you unsure?
No one knows what happened. She went missing. We didn't.
When'd you find her? How'd you find her?
When we shut the engines off and found the remains in the furnace. There was a whole investigation to make sure no one in the crew was involved. Everyone had alibis. Everyone was fine. I was sleeping at the time when it happened, apparently. And the father and her stepmom were heartbroken, as it happens, and that's that. Police came, investigated. We had to delayed, our return trip, all this other stuff, but
Everybody was cleared,
yeah, yep,
including the
worst
captain.
thing?
yeah. Captain was, but the nearest that they can tell when it happened, the captain was, up dealing with, guests at the time.
That the worst thing you were talking about last night?
What do you mean?
We having a drink. I asked you
I wasn't drinking last night.
Yes. You were reading a book. Got up. I got you. Went and had a drink. I could sleep last night after.
I slept like a baby last night. I was exhausted. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you fucking with me? You jealous? The captain called me up. That was.
No, that sounds awful. I feel bad.
It was.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, TJ.
I'm gonna try and read the dude.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a psychology check. TJ, you can give me a sanity check if you would like to.
Yeah, I can.
Oh,
That's
Ooh.
it. That's real good.
43 under 46 under 49.
Well, you can still lose one. And
Yep.
what did you get, Lester?
I rolled one better than last time.
Oh,
That's a 99.
well, he's lying. He's lying through his teeth. No, you just have no idea.
Yeah.
You just have no idea. It's like you think he's joking around, then you think he's being completely serious. You just can't tell.
I can't read them. And you were just asleep when this little girl accidentally.
Yeah, I was working night crew that trip, so I was mostly sleeping, up and through the days, and it happened like the late evening, like during dinner time. I guess I was asleep. That's as near as everyone can tell, because we can't pinpoint exactly when it happened. Her family couldn't find her at dinner, and the stepmom said the last time she saw her was, playing, around the corridors, in the lower decks. Like
What time does night crew wake up for their shift?
After dinner, probably like 9, 10 p.m. It's changed a few times. I think it was like 10 p.m. then.
Okay.
How old was she?
Oof. 6.
GM, the voice that I thought I might have heard, did that
Yes.
sound like a child or an adult? I know the giggle was a child.
You're pretty sure it was a child now that you think about it.
Okay. TJ just mulling.
Yep.
So after this little girl met an untimely end,
Mhm.
weird things started happening on the ship.
No, I mean, weird like how? Like this? This is
Like a chandelier falling.
okay.
no reason.
That is weird. I mean, the engine braking is not that weird. The chandelier falling is kind of weird. I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Check that rope when we set out.
Yep. That one's definitely weird. There's been some other stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really a superstitious guy. Jack. Switch gears.
Uh-huh.
You are looking around, continuing to search the captain's quarters. You do not find anything else of note about this. The only thing you haven't checked is that locked chest.
We can find a key.
You didn't find a key. Bernice,
Yes.
you're wandering around looking for Jack.
Mm.
And thinking about it, and you're like, if I was Jack, where would I go?
Yeah, and he's a reporter, so he's going to go to the captain's quarters.
Yep. So you
So
start
I'm
heading,
gonna.
you head that way, and Jack, what are you gonna do?
Is there like a letter opener or something on the?
Yep. There's definitely a letter opener.
He's gonna like try and see if he can jimmy this lock open on this chest.
Hey, why don't you give me a locksmith roll?
Oh yeah. Here we go.
There is a 1%
Yep.
chance that you can pass this.
Nope. 51.
Bernice, you crack open the door to the captain's quarters just in time to see Jack just jamming a letter opener into this lock on his chest. Clearly no idea what he's doing.
Are you supposed to be here?
he will jump out of his skin. Like, oh, this isn't my quarters. No.
We obviously know what
Missed.
you're doing here.
Boudreaux, how unexpected. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna close the. I'm gonna close the door so that I'm not just like half in the captain's quarters and closing the door, and relocking it. You're only in here, Jack, because you're looking for a story. Did you find anything? And what are you doing?
Yes, I did. I found a cover-up of a death, a small child falling into the furnace a few months ago, year ago, X amount of time ago.
A couple months ago.
A few months ago. Nothing else. There's a locked chest. I tried to get into it to see if I can find anything else. I didn't. I can't get into it. It's locked. Letter openers are not keys, apparently.
No, they are
So
not.
unless you can pick a lock, I think we should go. I should go. I gotta go.
Can I just roll to just know
Look at the
whether or
time.
not
I
have
gotta go.
also a 1. Yeah, no, I didn't pass that. So you're saying a death of a child in the furnace?
Yes, so the captain is obviously up to some shady business. I am assuming that there's more here than just that. I just wish I could get in this damn chest. But I
You know what? I don't even think about it. I just rolled for it. I take out my gun and I shoot the lock.
What are you?
And I just rolled a 20, and my fire handgun is a 35.
Well, Jack, you're talking, and Bernice is just like, blam!
What are you doing? What? No, hi.
I mean, if there's going to be secrets to be had, they're going to be in a locked chest, and I really don't have time to worry about a lockpick when
What?
Bessie does just good enough. And so,
What?
did it open the?
Yes, you blow the lock right off.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk up and open it.
Yep, you just pop the padlock off, kick open the chest. And it has some personal effects in it. Some, articles of clothing that look to be, sentimental. And a bundle of papers that are tied up with some twine, which includes a newspaper clipping from a London Gazette that details the tragic loss of the daughter of a prominent businessman of London at sea on their voyage back from America, where he had just gotten married.
Okay, we don't have time to stay here. And just grab it, and we gotta go. That's gonna. Who are you? He just like. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
No,
no,
she's back.
right, okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
No, it's okay.
So Jack just grabs it. It's like, we have to go. That just loud bang. What? Who? Ha! Go.
So I'm gonna close the lock, close the door. Can I see where the bullet landed?
The bullet ricocheted off of the metal of the lock after breaking it and embedded in the. You mean? And it's what kind of gun do you have? You have you have a 22.
22.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nope. So the shell casing, when it ejected, landed on the floor next to you.
All right, I'm gonna pick that up
Okay.
and put everything back in my purse and leave the room.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack is gonna leave. He is extremely intimidated by Miss Boudreaux.
As you should be.
Moving picture actress is more than meets the eye, because he's just like,
Gotta protect
Like,
yourself, and you gotta get in the
panic
places other people
attack,
can't.
Excellent. Well, let's shift back to TJ and Lester. You are still talking to Rodney.
I figured at this point, Lester has the information he's looking for, and as they're leaving, unless stopped otherwise, he goes, "How well do you trust Rodney?"
Good mechanic. It's my buddy here.
saying it's possible that he could have been the one at foul play, because he would have had time to commit the murder before returning back to his bunk and waking for his shift that night.
I mean, 2 days ago I wouldn't have said it, but he just lied to me. Lied to my face.
What did he lie about?
Well, got up in the middle of the night. We had a drink. Just said we didn't talk. Sure as hell talked.
What'd you talk about?
Shit. He said he's probably leaving soon because bad things happen.
And then when we were conversing, he played it off like not a lot of weird stuff happens. Does he suffer
Well,
from...
he didn't say weird stuff. He just said bad stuff. I asked him if yesterday with the engines was the worst he'd seen. Said it wasn't, or it was the worst that it involved the crew. But today acted like we never had that conversation.
Does he suffer night terrors or sleepwalking?
Not that I'm aware of. Last night he was up because he was reading a book. Rodney reads.
As you two are conversing, are you walking anywhere?
Yeah, walking.
Yeah, walk and talk.
Yeah, probably heading back up to check on Miss Boudreaux,
Okay.
who is not there.
You're walking and you walk down the corridor. The stairwell is not there.
We got turned around. It's the other direction.
No, it's not.
Obviously, yeah, we got too swept up in unraveling this mystery, not paying attention. You know the ship better than me. Which direction?
Yeah, and the stairwell's right there.
Obviously, it's not right there.
It's next to that flickering lantern that's fucking busted. That's how I found it every time when I first got on the ship.
Yates, with hesitation, but a slight determination, reaches out towards the wall that is where the stairwell should be.
You touch the wall.
What the fuck? Sorry, sir.
It doesn't even register. And he's like leaning up against it to try and see if he can hear something on the other side. Definitely looking for supernatural.
Why don't you give me spot hidden roll? While you're doing that, we'll jump back to Jack and Bernice as you quickly exit the captain's quarters and make your way down the corridor. You hear footsteps coming from the opposite direction as you round a corner. So you successfully make it away before anyone shows up at the quarters.
And is like beelining it straight to his room.
Okay.
Like dragging Bernice with him. Like,
Okay.
dude,
And you make it back to your room.
and like shuts the door, and he was like, "What is wrong with you? Do you have any idea what you could have? That's not. Oh,
I mean,
Good
no
job.
worse than. Oh, well, thank you.
lucky. Oh, okay. Let's see what we got. You look through that. I have to develop this, and we'll immediately start like wrapping the red around the light again, and we'll start pulling out his chemicals, and is gonna start developing the photo from the chandelier and the ones he got of the documents.
Okay. And Bernice, you start going through the paperwork.
Yes.
TJ and Lester. Lester, what did you roll?
I got a 10, which is exactly a critical success.
Yes, it is. Don't hear anything from the other side of the wall, as that would be the exterior hull of the ship. And hopefully it's thick enough where you're not hearing anything on the other side. But in the silence of you listening, you do both hear, actually. Laugh coming from down the hallway.
Does it sound
Like a young
the
girl?
other one?
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like the other one, the one you heard earlier, DJ.
Great.
Yates's head just whips around, like wide-eyed, looking at TJ. Did you hear that?
Yup.
And you hear a door open and shut down the corridor.
And Yates just goes.
Shit, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Just follows him.
All right. Jack, Bernice, Jack, you're developing the photos. Bernice, you are going through, looking through the paperwork. You do that, and you do find all of the court proceedings, everything that related to the ship. There was a full investigation. A prominent London businessman had met a woman. They went back to America to get married there so her family could attend. He had taken his young daughter, who he was a widower, young daughter with them, and on the return voyage, she sadly went missing, and they eventually found remains in the furnace. He and his new bride were devastated at the loss of their child. There was investigation. No one in the ship was found to be at fault. These things happen on ships sometimes when kids wander off and play in places they're not supposed to. Everyone could account for their whereabouts, etc., etc.
Okay. I'm reading all this. Is there anything that seems even slightly suspicious or out of place about this situation that would make it seem less than just a regular natural occurrence?
Not from the article, no.
Okay. I'm gonna relay it to Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there was a child got lost playing and wound up in the furnace. Poor thing. Her family is obviously devastated, and the courts just let the ship continue on. Nobody was found at fault.
Something more going on here. Look, and he'll kind of, as he's developing these photos, he'll point her towards the two that he developed last night. Like, look at that. There's someone on board hiding out. I think there's something more here. There has to be. There's more than just this cover up. This captain is up to something. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. And he's just like stuttering a bit as he just like goes back into developing.
When I see the photo with the face, I immediately get freaked out. I almost can't look at it because it seems out of place. It seems otherworldly.
It does.
Or like a different, like the negatives are, something's wrong, and it's.
Bernice, can you give me a sanity check?
Ooh, your girl's gonna go insane today. All right.
She's been doing the most sanity checks.
Yep.
All right, I got a 69. What is my sanity?
Nice.
Wait, and I put that against 6. Nice. That's against 60, right? Or is it against what my current?
Oh, you're
is?
you're current.
Okay, so
You're much lower than 60 at this point.
Oh, so the numbers. So from 60, the numbers go down.
It goes down, yes.
Oh yeah, then yeah, I'm under.
So in addition to it being very unnerving and out of place, it also looks very familiar to the face of the young girl in the photograph you just looked at in the police reports. And you're going to lose 4 sanity.
All right.
And we're going to jump back to TJ and Lester.
As we're going, Private first class, sir.
Yes.
Just occurred to me, something else Rodney said last night. Something about international waters.
Yeah, of course we're in international waters. Laws don't, jurisdiction doesn't dictate.
Laws and jurisdiction don't dictate on international waters, sir.
So those that are up to foul play would not be held responsible.
That's what I'm thinking, sir.
Okay, let's find out what's going on. And he continues on. Looking for something to be proven right.
You turn the corner and you see the door to what appears to be a furnace room in front of you.
Is that usually a furnace room?
You aren't sure anymore. You don't even know which level of the ship you're on.
Oh, good. Love it. Okay.
And
Is there a fire going?
No. Well, there should be, ideally, in the furnace room, but contained. But the door is slightly open.
Lester, not knowing anywhere where he is in the ship, just continues going towards the supernatural that he wants to find.
Okay. Lester pushes the door open.
I'm close behind.
And inside, you see a small girl sitting on steps, playing with a doll.
She looks solid, or does she look incorporeal?
She looks solid as you and TJ. Wearing a light blue dress.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, hi.
Are you lost?
No. Just playing.
Okay.
It's kind of dangerous down here for you to be playing. What game are you playing?
Oh, I'm just playing with my dolly.
You want to go play with your dolly upstairs?
No. That's what Sarah is.
I'm gonna sit next to her on the steps. Who's Sarah?
My daddy says she's my mom now, but she's mean.
Yeah. How about we go find you a place to play upstairs that isn't near Sarah? Big boat.
Well, that's okay.
Do you want to come on?
And as she reaches out to take your hand, her hand starts to crumble like it's made out of ash.
And like a dog chasing a car but doesn't know what to do once he finds it, I'm not even going to make the roll. His sanity breaks.
Yeah.
Wants to find something so bad, and it's not good when he does. Just tell me how much I lose and what happens.
You lose 6. You can make an intelligence check for me as the little girl crumbles to ashes in front of you.
I'm gonna roll my mean dice.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Ian,
Oh no.
Ian, I'm not fucking kidding. I got a 31.
Oh, you passed.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You still lose 2 sanity.
Oh, of course.
And Lester, how did you do?
That's a 21.
Well, Lester. All the pieces start sliding together like a jigsaw puzzle as you realize that someone wasn't honest here. Someone wasn't telling the truth, but you don't think it was the captain, and you don't think it was anyone on the ship. Maybe the little girl can tell you.
but the little girl's gone.
Is she?
Well, there's one place she could be. And you just kind of like just almost the same state as the other mechanic was the night before. She doesn't want us to leave. And he just walks towards the furnace and opens it.
I'm gonna just stand up and try to go for him, and he's just...
And I think that is a good place to end our game for tonight, as Lester creates a very large explosion in the bowels of the ship as he makes one of the furnaces, just opens the door in mid-operation.
Gosh.
And
Oh.
My dream came true.
Yeah.
I didn't want this.
Oh my god!
Let's just. I'm gonna make a roll for Jack and Bernice here, real quick.
Yeah, like Jack is like holding up the developed photo of the chandelier breaking.
As you hear and feel a massive explosion in the ship. Bernice, I will let you know that you passed your luck roll and you survive.
Oh, damn.
Jack, what's your luck?
45.
What is my luck?
You want to push that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh no, Jack, you do not. You do not. You go down with the ship. I'm sorry.
Oh. Or Jack.
I'm not sure if anybody else out there knows, but the emulsion chemicals are very flammable.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
And Jack was covered in them at the
Yeah,
time.
he was.
As the ship starts filling with fire. Oh, well.
Bernice probably watches him burn alive.
Wow. Yep. And so there goes the rest of my
as
sanity.
he is on fire, he just holds his camera to Bernice.
Oh my
And
gosh.
as he perishes, he just never forget. I think that's a great place to end it.
Yeah.
Jack, no! I'll never let go of your camera, Jack!
And once again, Jack perishes on the ship.
Jax just shouldn't go on ships crossing the Atlantic. It's
Jack
fine.
did not get on ships. Wow. Well, I'll let you
The
know.
door
I'm
was
probably
big
gonna
enough for
never-
both of us, Bernice.
It was not. It absolutely was not big enough. I guarantee you, I found the smallest boat. I probably didn't act. I probably didn't act anymore after this. I'm like literally,
Oh, man.
my sanity is at a 40. What is 60 minus 12?
Oh
Like a
man.
48.
Yep.
48, yeah.
I don't know that you can function at that level
So good.
anymore. Yeah,
Oh, so good.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
that was
TJ.
cool.
Yeah. Well,
What an ending.
that was an unexpected way to close that one out, but I feel like that was appropriate.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for tuning in and enjoying this game of Call of Cthulhu with us. Thank you to Justin and Devin and Renee and Saren. Going back around, Renee, where can people find you online? Do you have any cool projects coming up in the near future?
Oh, yeah. So my name is Renee Cooper, and you can follow me on Twitter. I don't do much there, at PeachyMade, MADE, or on Instagram, which I do more, I guess, is at PeachyCon Princess. And we are in hiatus with HL by Night right now, but we should be picking that up within the next couple of months. So keep an eye on HL by Night. And even though the times are weird right now, we're still planning a Dragon Con, and I just happen to be the director of animation track. So if you're there, come down to Hilton lower level and check out the animation track programming. We're having a whole bunch of stuff planned, so keep an eye on that in the Dragon Con book. And if you're on site, just come over. I'll be there.
Excellent. Thank you. Saren.
Hi, Hey, you can find me on Twitter at @fayepatel_. I'm gonna start streaming some video games that most people have already played on Twitch soon. I'm gonna be starting with Portal. So next couple of weeks, my Twitch is Fayepatel SB, and I am the host for ATL by Night's recap show. So that'll be back right before we start season 6.
It is 6. Oh no.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Wow. Yeah. All right. And Dustin.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Dustin Fletcher. I'm one of the co-DMs of D4, a 5th edition actual play set in Forgotten Realms, where we try to be, if not are, the most canon to Forgotten Realms lore show out there. I am the co-DM with this guy right here. Yeah, we stream every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/rockpunchatl. I also play Cirrus on ATL by Night. I've been missing for a couple seasons. Hopefully I'll be back next season.
I don't know. You got roughed up.
I got pretty roughed up. Reveal at the finale last season. So catch that if you haven't seen the finale of season 5. Yeah, I'll touch on a little something else that is kind of fun. If you liked this cruise and you liked what Devin and I did on this cruise, you can join us at D3 at Sea, where we are celebrity DMs for an actual D&D cruise that is going to Central America and the Mayan ruins next March. And you can find that at d3atsea.com and get your tickets for that fun extravaganza.
Yeah, we hope to see you there in a lot more enjoyable setting. Hey everybody, I'm Devin Henderson. You can find me on Twitter at DevinIsNotHere. Occasionally, I will either like a tweet or retweet something, but I don't tweet. I don't do the Twitters. That's why the handle is there, what it is. As he said, I co-DM a game called D4. You can find out more information about that at d4dnd.com. This was a lovely experience. I love all of the story character implements that, unbeknownst to us all, kind of wove together, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm sorry I blew up the ship. That was not the plan. I knew because of his past and things that had happened to him during the war, he wanted to prove that supernatural was real, but didn't know how to handle it when he found it.
It ended with a bang.
It did end with a bang.
Yep.
Ooh. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And obviously, I am Ian E. Muller. I'm one of the co-founders of Gehenna Gaming. We run horror TTRPGs with a focus on inclusivity, safety, and consent. We will be doing much more streaming in the near future. We've been a little bit on hiatus with some of our actual play shows, but our Saturday Night One-Shots have been going and will continue going through August, and you should see Gehenna Academy coming back in a few weeks, as well as our Dark Ages V5 game, as well as some new stuff coming up in the near future. You will also be able to find myself at DragonCon, just hanging out and doing things, but I'll probably be wearing Gehenna Gaming shirts, so if you want to talk to me about Gehenna Gaming stuff, you can talk to me there. And then we will
It's your first DragonCon, right?
It is also my first DragonCon, which is why I'm not doing any tracks next year. And then we will also be at PAX Unplugged this December, so there'll be some exciting stuff going on there. Stay tuned for more news about that. This has been Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This was The Haunting of the SS Avondale, which is a scenario I wrote almost 10 years ago. And these have been a fantastic cast of players who I'm very excited to get to run a game for. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this and all the other stuff we do. And go check out all these wonderful people at all the places they mentioned as well. Thank you, and good night.
Night.